This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
We would like to dedicate this episode 183 of Skywalking Through Neverland to our Skywalker families in Texas who have been affected in any way by Hurricane Harvey, and those in Florida who are currently preparing for Hurricane Irma.
Stay safe, Skywalkers. The Force is with you. I will give you the answer. It may not be the right answer, but it'll be an answer.
Hashtag Space Married, hashtag Canera.
There's not a lot of podcasts out there that do that, and I'm not just talking Star Wars podcasts.
If they do a droid episode, K2SO and Chopper.
Uh-oh.
I've got a bad feeling about...
Quiet.
I've learned how to tweet thanks to Star Wars Rebels.
What does a pork say?
This would, I can't say it enough, would just be jaw-dropping. Big screen Rebels.
Oh.
Mic drop.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Hello, Skywalkers.
Listen.
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Wow. Oh, what?
You are skywalking through Neverland.
Hey, Skywalkers. Are you ready to talk some Star Wars, Disney, and Force Friday finds? Well, if you are, then we want to welcome you all to Skywalking Through Neverland. This is your fun-filled, positive Star Wars and Disney podcast that takes you on a tour through the many decades of fandom. I am Richard Wolosky, and now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife, Sarah, who cannot wait to get to the Hallmark store today.
I'm so excited to go to Hallmark, but we decided to record first so we could check a box off of our list before we had some fun and went to Hallmark, and right next to Hallmark is the Disney store.
Didn't we go to Hallmark and the Disney store the other day?
We did. We went on Saturday night to the mall, and we're like, oh, it's like a little bit before 8 o'clock. Mall will be open till at least 9. And we went to Target first, which of course is open till midnight. Then we walked into the mall, and all the stores were closing at 8. And we're like,
8 p.m.
It's 8 p.m.
They were literally closing those blast doors in our faces
It was so,
when we got there.
We just missed Hallmark and Disney store, and we were so sad.
But you know what? All good things come to those who wait. So
That's
we'll have to
true.
go today after our recording. And if you're good, maybe get a present.
Yeah.
I already have my eye on something.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
What do you have?
A Greedo Itty Bitty. Got to complete my collection of Itty Bitty Cantina
Creatures?
creatures.
Yes.
That I want to thank Margaret Mays. She had gotten me the Itty Bitty exclusive Walrus Man from Comic-Con, from San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So big thanks to Margaret and whoever's making that beeping sound.
I'm sorry. That was the porg. Well, you know what? Thank you for introducing me, Richard. And I want to say hello to our Star Wars and Disney family. And we love that you listen to the show every week. And we like to start each and every show with a giant Wookiee hug. So yay! Welcome, Skywalkers. You are officially Skywalkers if you have been listening since the first time, or if this is your very first time listening. And thank you once again to all of you watching live on YouTube. We love that. You are our SkyTubers. And also, you can tweet at us. We are at Skywalking Pod if you're happening to listen to the show and are like, oh, what should we tweet about?
Well, tweet about the awesome things that are coming up on this show. But first, got to tell you that we are recording this from Long Beach, California on September the 5th, 2017. Hey, this marks the 25th anniversary. 25 years ago today, I left Boston for Los Angeles.
Wow.
I loaded up the Saab. My friend John Amber and I headed out west.
25 years?
25, September the 5th.
My goodness.
We said, see ya to the East Coast. See ya to the snowstorms, to the shoveling of the snow every December through March.
So you've officially been living in Southern California longer than you lived in Boston.
That is right. That's some good math. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that makes Los Angeles my home.
Mm-hmm. All right. So coming up on this episode, we are going to break down Force Friday Eve, and we spent that evening with James Burns from JediNews.co.uk, and then Tricia Barr and BJ Priester as well. So we recorded as we went along from Toys R Us to the World of Disney store. We recorded in the car. We recorded after we got stuff. So it's really fun. You'll be hearing that a little later.
Yeah, we even got a quick interview with a woman who had never heard of a Porg. How does that happen? Who dropped the ball on that one?
Mm-hmm.
Also on this episode, hey, guess who's back? The ForceCast. And we'll be speaking with the new hosts, Ryan Donoho and Daniel Barry, to find out about its return and what to expect in the future.
Also on this episode, we have our Star Wars Super Graphic contest winner. Now, we've been trying to keep our shows at a maximum of 2 hours in length, and since we have so much great content for you, we're going to hold off on the shoutouts and Skywalker of the Week this week.
Oh, boo!
I'm sorry.
So now let's not keep everyone in suspense and reveal the winner of Star Wars Super Graphic, a visual guide to a galaxy far, far away, courtesy of Chronicle Books.
You get your very own copy. Okay, so shall we do the picking and choosing now?
Yes, the very high-tech way that we pick our contest winners, where you scroll through the tweets and I point.
Yep, sounds good.
Very, very high-tech.
So I have the hashtag Skywalker selfie all loaded up. Yeah. Richard, you're gonna...
NASA is beating it down our door every day for our high-tech way of picking out a winner.
Okay, Richard, you're gonna point.
Right. So you scroll.
Yes.
You scroll. Okay, ready? And...
So I'm gonna have your hand right there.
Okay,
ready?
Ready and scroll.
Go. Okay, everyone, we're no looking. No looking. Okay, I'm pausing it. And let's see where it went. And it went to Joshua Jordan. At UberNerd527. And he tweeted, I listen to Skywalking Pod because it's a positive celebration of fandom and makes me proud to be a nerd.
Oh, another Floridian Skywalker.
Yeah. Joshua, so what we would like you to do, and this is a great selfie here. He has his ignited green lightsaber in a darkened room. It's pretty awesome. So, Joshua, we need you to send us your address in a private message in our Facebook group, and the book will be sent right out. You can also send us a DM on Twitter, since we're part of Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay?
And let's say you only have a week to respond before it goes to somebody else.
Okay, yes, because we need to let Chronicle Books know.
Yes.
All right. Well, congratulations, Joshua Jordan.
And many Skywalkers may know Joshua because he was on our roundtable right after one of the first Dark Side Marathon last year, when Secret Squirrel and his squad of squirrels came and stopped us.
At first, yes.
Not downtown Disney, Disney Springs, as it was called then. And Joshua was there with us. So congratulations once again, Joshua. Now, Sarah, let's move on to our Rebel Season 4 trailer breakdown in Things We Want to Share.
Things we want to share. Things we want to share. Things we want to share.
Ezra!
What happened?
Lothra, Lothcat, Lothwolf, run. Pick a path, and all is done.
What's the status of the Imperial occupation?
Mandalore's under complete lockdown. War's raging.
It's time for you to prove your loyalty, not just to your family, but to all of Mandalore.
You can run Mon Mothma's errands, or do something that might actually matter.
Your TIE Defender is at risk. Krennic has been quite persuasive about his own project. Stardust.
Capture Captain Singular.
It will be done.
Ezra. It's not whether or not we fight.
It's how we choose to fight that matters. I know, Kanan. Maybe we're choosing the wrong way.
When are you going to feel you've done enough for this rebellion?
Guess I never really thought about it.
So I guess you really never thought about us.
Don't move!
Oh, I'm moving.
We will not stand down. We will not be broken by fear. We are strong, united by our courage. Now is our time.
I wish I could see you.
You could always see me.
All the paths are coming together, right?
I'm just not sure if we're going to like where they lead.
So, after watching this trailer for season 4, Richard, what stood out to you most?
What stood out to me most was the thing I always feared, that the band is breaking up. That all of our heroes are being torn in different directions. Like Sabine is being asked to prove her loyalty by her mom, not just to her family, to her birthright family, but to all of Mandalore. So Sabine's got to make some decisions. Do I stick with my Ghost Crew family? Do I stick with the Mandalorian family?
Right.
And protect Mandalore with the Darksaber? Oh my goodness. And being how ethical she is and loyal, what's going to happen?
Right.
How's this going to turn out?
Yeah.
And even Saw is trying to break Hera away from the rebellion, telling her, you can run Mon Mothma's errands, or you can do something that really matters.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah. So his
Whoa.
version of fighting is a little different.
Yeah, you can be an errand girl, or come over here, fight on the front lines with us. So it really, really makes a difference.
Yeah.
Well, that's from Saw's point of view, of course, which didn't really turn out that well in Rogue One. So yeah, the fact that everyone's being pulled apart, and poor Ezra, he's being pulled in every which way. What stood out to you the most?
Well, I'm going to say that it was the whole Canera thing. So Kanan and Hera.
Equals Canera.
Equals Canera.
That makes sense.
And it's even on StarWars.com that way, Canera.
Really?
Yes. That's a thing.
Boy.
Hashtag space married, hashtag Canera.
Is that a little too tabloid or?
No, it's awesome.
Okay.
Shh.
Okay.
Okay.
I was showing the error of my way.
Yes. So there's just certain moments in the trailer that are super intimate between them. And honestly, that makes me a little afraid. Because you know the trope of lovers, right? In storytelling? So basically when lovers finally come together, and that means that they can be then torn apart. So like in your typical movies.
Well, just look at Han and Leia.
Movies. Well, yeah.
Han and Leia and The Empire Strikes Back.
Mhm.
They finally get together and the Empire says, nope.
Yeah. And then in Romeo and Juliet as well. So the stuff hits the fan once you get together. I'm a little afraid for Kanan and Hera about that. But that did stand out to me in the trailer. And then one other thing that stood out was just the whole overall effect of the trailer was great. I mean, this season looks like a great mix of action. You got the Mandalorians fighting. Then you still have your nice Force-centric episodes, which we know that Dave Filoni always loves to do, which has the Loth Cat and the Loth Wolf. So I'm excited about that.
I think this is going to dovetail into Rogue One.
Yes.
The way that the Clone Wars micro-series dovetailed into Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
I think it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, because they even mentioned Stardust and Krennic.
And we saw Death Troopers.
I missed those. But I really like the part where Tarkin mentions to Thrawn about Krennic's project and that maybe that could usurp whatever Thrawn is doing. So they're going to like pit them against each other.
Oh, I heard that we're not going to see Krennic in this series, which is depressing.
Is fine.
I love me some Krennic.
Okay.
And to see Krennic go up against Thrawn, and there are certain ways of doing things.
That's true. That would be a neat
That
meeting.
would be awesome. And just how Krennic just keeps getting beaten down and beaten down and beaten down.
Mhm.
And Thrawn he sees everything before it even happens. force sensitive, but not being force sensitive. He does it by his own skill of reading into the artwork and go, okay, it's like reading body language. People who can read body language and go, okay, I know exactly what's going to go on here. He reads the artwork and knows exactly what's going on here.
So which character are you most excited to see in this next season?
To see the progression?
Either their journey or just to see in general.
I'm going to say Ezra, just because he's just pulled in so many different directions. And will he go to the dark side? I don't know. But I think all of this war is really beating down on the boy.
Yeah.
In like the last line of the trailer, Ezra says, all paths are starting to come together. And Kanan says, I'm just not sure we'll like where they are going to lead. To me, if I was going to read into that, that would mean we're all going to go into the Battle of Scarif into Rogue One. All sides are coming together right then, because that is a very pivotal moment in Star Wars lore, because that's what sets off the Death Star plans, getting into the hands of the rebellion, sets off Luke Skywalker's journey, and so on and so forth. So I think all comes down to the Battle of Scarif.
Okay.
Now, when you heard those two lines by Ezra and Kanan, what did you make from that? And then we'll ask you what character you want to see come through.
Well, I mean, as they're saying that, I know our crew is looking at Lothal, and there's a bunch of ships or something is crashing into.
But don't forget that they can put that soundbite over any footage, because we didn't see their mouths
That's
move.
true, but I'm thinking that that's a shot that's further on in the series, that, you know, something is going to happen to Lothal that they're not going to like where that goes.
Okay, so I'm thinking Scarif, you're thinking Lothal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it started in Lothal, so I think Dave likes to wrap things up and bring things back together.
very good point.
Yeah.
All right, good deal. Now, what character are you really looking to follow their journey?
Well, I am most excited to see Rook, because he
not Bodhi Rook.
Right. Well, no. Rook from he's Thrawn's
I know, but when I hear Rook
bodyguard.
I always think
okay.
Bodhi Rook from Rogue One.
Right. But so Thrawn's bodyguard, he's the Nogri bodyguard, and that is straight out of Star Wars Legends, Heir to the Empire, and all those novels that Timothy Zahn wrote. So because it's from those amazing novels,
right,
that have imprinted on me, then that's why I'm most excited to see him. I'm also excited to see how Hera deals with all of this, because we know she survives.
Yes.
But we're not sure about the others.
Tarkin just put a hit on her head by telling Rook to go after Hera.
Right. Well, he says kidnap, doesn't he?
Well, no, I don't mean get rid of, but if Bodhi's if he's got his target set on something,
right,
you know he's not going to fail.
Bodhi?
Yeah.
You mean Rook?
Oh no. Expect a lot of that happening. It's like Pete, Elliot, which one's the dragon? I don't know, just call him. Yeah. Yeah, so what's it going to take for her to either evade Rook, or if she's captured, how are they going to get her back, and what's going to be that adventure? Now, Dustin Whalen on Facebook just said he wants...
On YouTube.
YouTube, I get these always mixed up. He says he hopes to see Cassian. I would love to see Cassian. I would love the more Rogue One characters we see, the better, because one of the biggest complaints about Rogue One is that we spend 2 hours with these characters and they're gone. That
is a really good point.
So I think we're going to start bringing some of those characters back, just so we can get more of a relationship with them. Not as fan service, just because to feel more connected with these characters. And now the new generation who's popping up every single day, when they see Rogue One, they'll have more of a connection.
Yeah.
With all 6 of those rebels.
I like that idea a lot. That's awesome.
Well, thank you, Dustin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else from Rogue One do you want to see in this next season?
Well, the droid.
K2SO?
K2SO would be super fun.
Yeah. Yeah, he would be a lot of fun. But, the more I think about it, are they going to want to do a who's who? Pick out the Rogue One characters?
If they do a droid episode, K2SO and Chopper. Right?
Oh, boy. All right, now let's talk about Dave Filoni's favorite aspect of life, and that is wolves.
Nice.
Now, we all know that he has a passion for wolves, and why? Why does he have a passion for wolves, and how do they play into season 4 of Rebels? Well, it just so happens that there was a panel at Fan Expo in Canada last weekend that consisted of Dave Filoni, Taylor Gray, and Vanessa Marshall, and that question was asked. So let's go ahead and roll into Dave talking about wolves.
I like wolves. And I make a Star Wars show. It's like two things that I think are cool, like, you know, and I put them together. It's an age-old formula, like chocolate and peanut butter. And the wolf thing for me is, you know, I've danced around it for a long time, and I've tried to figure out, is there a way they fit in? I like wolves. People ask me, why do I like wolves? I've tracked it back to a film called Never Cry Wolf, based on the book by Farley Moat and directed by Carol Ballard. And that movie made a huge impression on me as a kid because it made me look at this animal as kind of more as a whole thing. And the book really gets into your fears about something, your perception of something versus the reality of it. I've actually been to the Thelon Sanctuary in the Northwest Territories of Canada and on a trek out where wolves are to kind of study them in their natural habitat very respectfully. You know, they are something in our culture that's seen as both a villain, but they are kind of a hero also of the natural order. They keep things in balance. And as I would go over these things, and if you read a lot of mythology that has wolves, some people see them as evil and some people see them as guides, and that's very much like the Force to me. There's this symbolic nature of some animals that do both, and I thought, well, that works for me because it's with the Force and you could see it. It's really what you bring to it makes it a negative or a positive, but the wolf is just constant with what it is, and nature's that way. You know, and the Force is that way. If you bring selfishness to the Force, it becomes evil and dark side. If you bring selflessness, it is the light side. You know, but you have to own your part of it because you are choosing to do something with it. And so I thought these themes would play well just when you see the image of a wolf, that in people there's already a conflict. And what do you see when you see it? And so I thought that I could use that. And we've been talking about the fall wolves since season 1 internally, and would they appear? And they had many different kind of versions that we might do, and then finally we landed on this one, and that went through a couple iterations until we really got it. But at the end of the day, I guess the best way for something you've experienced is that they're very similar in nature to what Bendu is, which Bendu is kind of like the middle way, and he is the Attalon speaking to them through the Force in a way. And so these wolves are a nature element of the Force of Lothal, which is under tremendous persecution by evil. So that's a little bit of insight into them.
Was that awesome or what?
Everything he says is so mesmerizing.
I never knew that Never Cry Wolf was his inspiration for his love of wolves.
Wow.
A movie from 1983 that I still haven't seen.
So is that kind of like I love foxes, he loves wolves?
He loves wolves, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yours is more of a nostalgic thing.
Right.
His is more symbolic.
Okay.
And I love the fact that he says that you can look at something and either look at it negatively or get a more of a positive vibe from it. Mm-hmm. That says so much about life. Just Skywalkers, let that one sink in for a minute.
Yeah, like when you go anywhere, like to a job interview, on vacation, you know, wherever, to a convention, if you're looking at it like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so crowded, it's going to be terrible, you know, you're going to have not the greatest time. But if you look at it like, oh, it's going to be crowded, but you know what? We'll find our spot. We'll find something to do, and you make the best of it. And that's when you get to meet awesome people or do things you never thought you could because you left your mind open.
It's the whole don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, that too.
So perfectly. And then the moderator asked Dave Filoni, what was his hope for Star Wars Rebels? And was his hope fulfilled? So let's roll into this clip.
But also I wanted Rebels to stand on its own, that if you've never seen anything else that's a part of Star Wars, you would enjoy this story. And this story, if you watch from first season, the first episode makes certain promises about what this kid's journey is going to be, what he's going to do, and so we have to fulfill that story by the end. It does not exist to set up one of the movies. It does not exist to tie directly into one of the movies. If none of the other movies existed, this story should work as a mythology. It's nice that it touches other things and that there are crossovers. That's a deeper level, which is fine. You know, but if you read The Hobbit, you don't need to read Lord of the Rings necessarily, or vice versa. You know, I would recommend reading all of it. But, you know, the point of it is just having a story that works and that gives you something out of it. Not a lesson, but just a journey, I guess. And I feel very good about it. I feel we've accomplished it. I'm still working on it, but now having the end, and I've shot the end, you know, I like it. And I'm able to work on episodes leading up to the end so I can make things better than they've been. It's much more tied together than anything we've done in animation before. The first couple episodes tie off certain threads that we had to, and then we deal pretty much from the 5th episode to the end with Ezra and what's going to happen and everything that goes down. So, but it's almost, it feels like a day-to-day basis or a continuous thing where each episode really plays into the next. I mean, they work a story still, but you feel the flow of it and the connection. So I like it. Very few people know the actual total ending of the thing. So if you think I give you guys a hard time, even on the crew, only a handful of people actually know how the story ends in its final form. They don't. And like, so some shots are just being animated by my animation supervisor, Keith, in-house. They'll be rendered by Joel, so I know only 2 people have seen certain things. Because trying to keep things secret, you know, it's not to be mean or anything like that. It's just, I even want people on my crew to be able to sit down in the theater and enjoy the outcome of these characters' story, having never seen it, so that they can hopefully be like, wow, this is accomplished. And because that's what we're all after. Like, spoilers, I understand going after them. I'm a fan. I mean, it's a temptation to go after that spoiler, but you really want to experience it in the moment, because there's really nothing better, especially if you can be in a room full of people and experience a moment like that and share a moment. Like when I was a kid and you see A New Hope and Obi-Wan says, you know, use the Force, the whole theater went nuts because nobody knew that guy could still talk. And the whole theater screamed and people stood up and cheered. And it's like, we need a bit more of that feeling these days where people like, if we stick together, we can do this. And we don't need to be afraid. And that's like, Luke, you don't need to be afraid. Believe that despite this being an insurmountable task, you can do it. And so that's what the story of Star Wars is about, this selfless journey. So hopefully we get that there.
Wow, so not many people know the ending.
A handful.
So does that mean he gave different recordings to the voice actors, like different endings?
I think they just recorded in so many chunks that they didn't really know how it all fit together. That's how I perceive that.
Right.
But now only like Joel, Aaron know the true ending because certain people you have to let in on the secret or the show doesn't get done.
Yeah, exactly.
So I also love the fact that he wants this to stand on its own, Rebels. So do you think, Sarah, Star Wars Rebels stands on its own without knowing the history of any other film or Clone Wars or video games or novels?
That's a hard question because, I mean, the season finale of season 2 with Ahsoka and Vader was so powerful just because of the connecting threads through all of the movies and Clone Wars series.
But following Ahsoka up to that point, you could still, she's the connective character where if someone didn't know Darth Vader, they could look at this figure and go, oh boy, this is not good news. You may not know about the history, the relationships, the journey it took to get them there. Just like seeing all the other returning characters like Captain Rex, like Rook, like Thrawn,
Right.
like Wedge. Those characters to people just watching the show are, okay, they're just characters. But for us, it works on a whole new level.
Right. So what I'm saying is I think it does work on its own. But if you have a knowledge of the movies and the previous TV shows, I think you get more emotionally out of it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think he did a fantastic job on Star Wars Rebels, and it looks like he, unlike the Clone Wars, has got a definitive ending, which he's narrowing down to, and he learned at the foot of the master, George Lucas. So the man's going to know storytelling, and this last episode, whether it be an episode or an arc or a two-parter, has got to be theatrical.
Oh.
They've got to do this somewhere, some way that it's a benefit for charity. Because I know there's a lot of SAG rules and Guild Union rules. So you know what? Can we start a hashtag on this?
Okay.
What should it be? Hashtag.
We need a hashtag to help figure this out.
Yeah, they've done it before.
Yeah?
They've done it before, so they can do it again. And this I can't say it enough, would just be jaw-dropping.
Awesome.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think we're good.
Oh, hold on. Reynold Gobule just said big screen Rebels.
Oh.
Mic drop.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, we have a winner. Hashtag big screen Rebels, everybody. You know what? That's so important. Even I'm going to tweet this out.
Yeah.
If I'm going to tweet something, you know it's going to take about 35 minutes.
Big screen Rebels. Cool. I like that.
Nice. All right. Well, I am very excited for this season. I don't think all of our friends are going to make it out of the season. I think we're going to lose. And judging by your prediction, Sarah, we may lose Hera. Well, no. Well,
Kanan.
Okay.
Kanan.
Not going to lose Hera.
Right.
So, Star Wars Rebels Season 4 premieres October 16th on Disney XD.
Woo-hoo.
And I'm sure we'll be live tweeting that out.
Yes. Yes, we will.
Even I will be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned how to tweet thanks to Star Wars Rebels.
That's true.
Look at this.
Oh, full circle.
And now there's one more thing we want to share. Sarah, tell us what it is.
Okay, well, you remember at Star Wars Celebration when Walt Disney World, Disney's Hollywood Studios had Star Wars Galactic Nights?
Oh.
Which was like that one-night event, right?
Oh, couldn't forget that.
I know. So, it is returning to Disney's Hollywood Studios. Star Wars Galactic Nights will happen one more night on December 16th, 2017. All right, so it's happening again. This is a ticketed event at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World. So, unfortunately, Richard, you and I will not be there.
No. So this is the day after the opening of The Last Jedi.
Oh, I didn't put that together. You're right. Oh my gosh, how fun would that be?
Oh, I'm so jealous of our Floridian friends.
Darn it. Sweetie, can we go?
Yes. Yes. We'll go through the magic of Facebook pictures.
Oh, okay, and live streaming. All right. Well, for those of you Skywalkers, because we know many of you are in Florida, we'll just talk about a little of the details here.
Okay.
So it's 7 p.m. to midnight, but if you do buy a ticket, you can get in at 5 p.m. And there's going to be, of course, special Star Wars entertainment, including roaming droids.
Oh.
AWR troopers.
Oh.
Now, what are those?
Those are the Death Troopers renamed, repackaged.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Can't call them Death Troopers.
No, not at Disney
Not
World.
at Disney, no.
Okay. And Ewoks, they say.
Oh.
And so there will also be photo ops, character meet and greets, themed food and drinks, of course. And what's the one thing you think of when you think of a hard-ticketed Disney event?
Merchandising?
That would be correct. Yes.
I didn't even look at the notes for that one.
No. Yeah. So there will be special, limited time merchandise. All right. Now, I do have to say, if there are some Galaxy's Edge merchandise, Florida Skywalkers, we may need to tap you for that. Okay. Now, there will be also something different at this Star Wars Galactic Nights that was not at our Galactic Nights. Do you want to know what that is?
More Last Jedi references?
No, because they will have seen Last Jedi. So, what they will get is a special one-night-only panel in the Epic Theater, which I believe is the Indiana Jones Stunt Show Spectacular Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge expansion. They'll get a preview of it. And like I'm assuming some Imagineers will be there as well. Because when you're at that theater, you know, they have a panel.
Oh
which
my
means,
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure there'll be a ton of Last Jedi surprises.
I hope so. Well, the photo backdrops will include classic Star Wars scenes, so I'm sure they'll have like the Wampa Cave,
the trash compactor,
things like that. But there will also be new ones featuring Star Wars Rebels, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh.
But hopefully there'll be some Last Jedi ones. I mean...
Hold on, I'm going to cross streams here.
Okay.
We get a beam over there that night.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And all ages can wear costumes.
Oh, this hurts.
I know.
I
know.
Disneyland, if you're listening, let's pick up the ball on this, okay? we need Galactic Nights West Coast Edition.
Exactly. Yeah, we can use that theater where they have Mickey's Magical Map to have some kind of special panel. They really should do that.
Oh, who can we contact about this?
I don't know.
You would think if it was going to happen over here, they would have announced it with this.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, like I mentioned, this is a hard-ticketed event, so it will be $129 for adults, $124 for kids, 3 through 9. I don't even know why there's a distinction. It's like $5. But discounts are available for DVC members and APs. So if you have an annual pass.
Won't do us any good.
I know. But we are excited to hear about it, all of you Florida Skywalkers who are attending. So let us know if you are. Okay?
Yeah. And if you are, please post plenty of pictures and make us really, really jealous.
Absolutely.
Peeps! Happy Force Friday! Where's the Black Series? Where's the action figures?
Force Friday is almost here.
Happy Force Friday, my friends! And we are here for the midnight release of the new Star Wars Last Jedi toys.
And I hope you guys have all been out there, whether you went out at midnight last night or have been out shopping today.
You guys are going crazy. Look at these guys, they're grabbing everything.
Look at what I got.
What'd you get?
I got BB-9E and a pork.
Wait, does the pork have chicken feet?
I'm so happy.
To celebrate the impending release of The Last Jedi.
Friday, September 1st, Star Wars fans everywhere celebrated another unofficial holiday with Force Friday 2. To kick it off, many retailers opened their doors at 12:01 a.m. on the eve, so August 31st, so that fans could be the first ones to buy new toys and merchandise.
And boy, did they ever. If you saw our Facebook group page, I asked people to post their Force Friday finds. Oh my goodness. Oh
yeah,
my
how many
goodness.
comments did we have?
We had a lot.
Over 30, I think.
Hasbro right now is very happy. Very, very happy. And had we known that Target was the one to give away the 4-foot Porg, we would have hit Target first.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't know where we would have put it. But you know what? I got my BB-9E. Mm-hmm. So I needed something big. And we got it. But
big and fuzzy.
Yeah. But I really wanted that. That 4-foot
Yeah,
Porg.
I guess it was a 3-foot, I guess.
3-foot,
but
yeah.
It was a giveaway.
It was a giveaway, yeah. And I wanted to
believe that.
To make a slit in the back so I could get into it. I want it as a costume. I want to be, you know what, Sarah? We're going to be the first cosplaying Porgs.
Okay.
All right. Challenge thrown down. Now, let me ask you this. How did this Force Friday compare to the Force Friday that led into the Force Awakens?
All right. So for the Force Awakens, we were doing that book.
Oh, that's right. For DK Publishing.
DK Publishing, we were moderating the book panel.
The
with
book
the
panel
authors.
for the Ultimate Star Wars.
Yeah. So that was fun in itself. But by the time we finally all trooped in a car and got to a store in a big caravan, all the stores were closed. Because it was like 1 a.m. and they were done. They were closed.
Yes, here's a caravan of adults going from toy store to toy store, and everything has been closed. So I think we all just ended up at a bar.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. So it was kind of a dud in terms of merchandise, but we did get the new DK book.
Yeah, the Ultimate Star Wars.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun hosting that panel.
It was.
So, you know what? That was fun because we did something different.
Mm-hmm.
But this year was fun because we had a chance to spend it with a lot of good friends like James Burns and Tricia Barr and BJ Priester and some other Skywalkers who we'll talk about later on that met us for the John Williams concert.
Absolutely. Yeah, we happened to schedule a giant meetup at the Hollywood Bowl on Force Friday.
Unbeknownst.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to us.
We didn't realize it was Force Friday when we booked it. So, yeah, it was pretty awesome.
I don't think they knew. I don't think Hasbro or Disney
No.
knew. Now, let's show everyone, or tell everyone, because we already told everyone on Facebook over here what we got for Force Friday.
All right.
So,
Well, on the evening, Force Friday Eve, well, I could not put this little porg down. Little porg
So-
from the World of Disney store.
we knew that we could not leave Toys R Us without a porg. And we got a porg.
Well, no,
And which-
this is from the Disney store. This is not from Toys R Us.
Okay. It was late. We went to a few different stores. I don't know what we got with what. When I check the receipts later on, then I'll find out. So we got this porg, which we knew we couldn't leave Force Friday without a porg.
Right.
So which variation is this?
Oh, so this is the very fuzzy, soft porg that you can get at Disney stores. And we happen to get at the World of Disney store in downtown Disney. So you can actually get it at the parks as well, Disney parks. And it doesn't make noise, but it is very fuzzy. Apparently at Target, there's one that's slightly bigger, that's also soft and fuzzy, that makes noise. And then at Walmart and most other places, you can get a porg that's, well, it like moves back and forth and makes the noise, or you can get one that's not as fuzzy, but it's still a, what do you call it? A plush.
What kind of sound does a porg make? What does a porg say? Oh.
It sounds like a squeaky chair.
Oh, there's a jingle in my head right now. Got a few phone calls to make.
What does a porg say?
Awesome. All right, so when you went in there, you knew you had to have a porg, right?
Yeah, I believe the first thing I did was take it off the shelf and held it while we actually did a little recording, and
Yeah.
I was holding it. We hadn't bought it yet, but by the time I was holding it for a while and we had recorded, and it had imprinted on me, and I needed it.
You're so Twilight.
I know.
All right. I did not plan on getting this over here. This is the giant,
BB9E.
like 2.5 feet.
Yep.
2.5 foot BB9E. I just love this droid.
And it's that wide too. It's like 2 feet
Yeah, it's
diameter.
Not only is it wide, but it's also heavy too.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know about this droid until going into Force Friday. It's got an R5D4 head. Oh no, more of a chopper. Nah, it's a very squat R5D4 head, and it's all black and gray. And ooh,
I bet you like. Do you like the colors best? Is that why?
I think so.
You like it?
But when we walked into Toys R Us, he was sitting there by himself.
Oh.
You can't have him sitting there by himself. So we got him. Kind of pricey at $50, but
Yep.
you know, come on. We had to get it. We got to tell Hasbro that we like the big plushies. So they'll keep on making more.
And speaking of plushies, I got my plush Forces of Destiny pillow, which is amazing. I love it. And everyone wants one too. So Target is where you can find them.
And going back to BB9E, because I really love this character, even though I don't know a thing about him yet. I didn't know if he was going to be evil. He's all dark, so I'm figuring. Until I saw the Star Wars blip video. Have you Skywalkers been seeing these on the Star Wars YouTube channel? Oh my goodness, there's 7 of these 30-second clips, just fun little vignettes. And there's one where BB-8 and BB-9E are playing a little game of cat and mouse. Where BB-8, even he doesn't know what this new droid is all about, so he's kind of poking them, and the two of them just chase each other around. This is the vignette, the video called Hey You. And if you haven't seen it, let's play a couple of seconds from it so you'll know what he sounds like.
Yay!
Now, to me, BB-9E kind of sounds like a cross between an old 1950s robot and the deep, dark tones of the Close Encounters mothership. That's what I'm getting from that. And I'm hoping that the sound designers, be it Matt Wood, whoever else is doing the sound these days, really took from those classic era 1950s sounds.
Right.
Or even 1970s sounds.
Oh, right.
I love when
Close Encounters.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are.
In Phantom Menace, Ben Burt loved these sounds from the 1950s of transmissions going in and out. It has that kind of very aluminum echoey effect. And he put that into Phantom Menace. So I'm hoping they're doing the same thing for the new films.
Yeah, these Star Wars blips. Now, if you thought the Forces of Destiny shorts were short, these Star Wars blips are even shorter.
Yeah, I didn't... What would you call these?
Micron series? I don't know. But each blip is about 30 seconds long, and there are 7 so far. And I know there's Chewie and the Porgs in the cockpit of the Falcon is really hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going with these either.
Well, I think they're just meant, like, people are sharing them on Facebook, and actually the way I saw it, I didn't see it with any sound, because I have my sound turned off, and so I just saw the clips. So the clips play without sound pretty well. So I think they're just meant to fill up your news feed so that people are like, oh, Star Wars, oh, that's coming out.
Okay.
So.
But people were complaining about the Forces of Destiny being so short. What are they going to say about this?
I think it works.
Yeah, I think we can devote 30 seconds in little increments to see something as cute as this.
Right.
Now, this just in, we got a Facebook message over here from Reynold Gobiel, and he had some insight into these Star Wars blips.
Yeah, he said that he saw the Chewie and the Porg blip when he unlocked some characters in his Star Wars app for the Star Wars AR thing for Force Friday weekend.
They're like little treasures.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're like your prize.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Now it all makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's move on to our first recording of the night. And this was our prep over to a Toys R Us, where James got us in a few minutes early. Thanks, James, and JediNews.co.uk. It is Force Friday Eve. We are on our way to Toys R Us in Huntington Beach, California. And Sarah, who do we have with us today?
We are here with James Burns of Jedi News.
Hey, James.
Hello, how you doing?
We are doing great and anticipating what to expect at Force Friday Eve. What are you looking forward to tonight?
I'm looking forward to seeing everything that there is on the shelves. It's really, really exciting to be in California for this. I've done it in the UK for many years. I did it in Atlanta for Go Rogue, so I've never ever done it in California. So it's going to be interesting to see how much stock is on the shelves. I think that's a question that we all want to know. How many Black Series figures are going to be available for everyone to buy. And just to see how many people are there and what people's expectations are.
So James, how do you feel now that you're in California? And of course, the time zones. So most of your friends and family have already been through Force Friday Eve.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit left out. And before I came out, I was actually putting stuff on the site, announcing all the UK exclusives that are coming out of various UK retailers that we can now talk about in the UK, because obviously as we're driving, it's 7:30 in the morning in the UK. So all of the stores are beginning to open over there for their first full day of selling stuff. So yeah, look, it is what it is. I booked a family holiday and then the date dropped. So you have to suck it up and make the best of it, which I am.
So we're about 5 minutes away from Toys R Us. In about 15 minutes, how much money do you expect to have spent?
I don't have any room in the suitcase.
That's a good plan.
Which is a good plan. I have already bought some stuff via mail order. So I've got some stuff waiting for me at home already. So I have all the Lego and some Funko stuff and some other bits and pieces. So I don't know. If there's any exclusives, I'll probably grab those. But we'll see.
We're kind of looking forward to that big 3-foot Porg, knowing that we could get inside of it and use it as a costume.
That's pretty much, maybe a Porg plush. But other than that, I'm waiting for the next wave of the what are those figures? Forces of Destiny adventure dolls, because those are just amazing.
That's next month, I think, isn't it? That's October.
Yes, October. Yeah. Now, what's your stance on the Porgs?
I think they're cute and cuddly, and it's going to be interesting to see how they fit into The Last Jedi. I don't know whether people have seen the big reveal of the new Lego Millennium Falcon, the biggest Lego set ever.
Yeah.
And that's coming with 2 porgs. So I think everyone's getting in on the game. I think by this time in December, maybe by the end of December, we may have porg overload. I'm not sure. But hey, why not? It's been a while since we had a cute, cuddly creature. And I'm excluding BB-8 from that because he's not really a creature. It's a robot. It's a droid. But yeah, I mean, sort of reminiscent of the Ewoks. Yeah. Hopefully they're not man-eating in any way.
But for me, like, we got that BB-8 plush, and that's certainly cute and cuddly.
I think the porgs will hopefully fulfill that position within the Star Wars galaxy. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they react with Chewie and some of the other characters in The Last Jedi in 8-9 weeks' time. No, about 11-12 weeks' time.
About 12 weeks' time, yeah. Now, I'm kind of looking forward to, since we're going to be getting into Toys R Us a little bit earlier than the Muggles, if I can cross-reference fandoms there. And I really want to see... Potterism, right. I really want to see how people are going to... what they're going to dive for first.
I think Black Series, porgs...
Something just fell.
Something just fell.
Don't go. Hold on, there's a red light. No, it was a red light.
It wasn't a red light. No,
it was. Well, yeah.
It was red turning left. It was all good.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Let's go with that. No one was watching. It's fine. It's not like we were recording or anything.
Wait,
hold on, we gotta go back.
You're listening to us going wrong on the route. We may not get there for Force Friday 2, but we will get there for Force Friday 3, so bear with us.
Turn around.
I think Sarah was getting very, very excited
about
there
the
porgs.
Okay. Make a left on Golden West.
Oops.
See?
Have you heard that the porgs are actually releasing a Christmas single? It's called A Fairy Tale of Ahch-To.
What?
Are you making this up?
Well, you've heard of the Pogues, the Fairy Tale of New York, the classic song. You haven't heard?
What are you talking about?
So the Pogues are a legendary Irish group, and every Christmas they've released a song called The Fairy Tale of New York. And it's always in the UK charts. It's a great, great song. So in the UK, we're relating the Porgs to the Pogues, and we're saying that they're going to be releasing a single at Christmas called A Fairy Tale of Ahch-To.
Wow. Didn't we see the same plot in Love Actually?
Christmas is all around me, and so the feeling grows.
Yeah, similar. Yeah. And it fits because we've just recently had the reenactment of Love Actually 2 for comic relief.
Oh, that's right.
So, hey, maybe there's some truth in this.
All right, well, stay tuned. All right, so Toys R Us is right there. So we'll come back and record after we've left Toys R Us and give you the post Toys R Us visit on our way to downtown Disney, where we'll meet Tricia Barr and BJ Priester.
Because they're not already sleeping.
Because they're still 3 hours ahead of us. At Toys R Us, when we had gotten to the location in Huntington Beach, California, we were talking to a woman at the front of the line, and we asked her, "So are you here to get a porg?" And she said,
"What's a porg?"
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with this?
The front of the line?
Yeah. So after she and her husband had done some shopping, we went over to them with our camera and shot a quick interview, which you'll see on our YouTube channel. But let's take out that excerpt of this small interview and play it for you now, so you can hear from the customers what they got and what their experience was like. Did you find a porg?
And my 6-year-old's gonna love it.
Oh, look at that. See, now you can say you know what a porg is.
Oh, what is this? Yes.
10 minutes ago, you had no idea what a porg was. When you look at him, what do you think?
I think he's very cute.
And then the other two.
Can you see him in the Star Wars universe?
No. But I can't wait to see him in December.
Yeah. Well, you got a full load there, didn't you? Oh, is this all for your kids or some for you?
All for my kids.
But they're going to wait for Christmas.
For Christmas.
Look at that.
They'll be very happy.
Boys? Girls?
Boys.
2 boys.
2 boys.
1 Sith, 1 Jedi.
Oh.
Did you not?
You must have a very happy household.
That's right.
Do you know who some of these characters are?
Yes. Well, yes. Actually, because I did studying on your app. So.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so we know who this is now.
Finn.
And who's this guy right over here? This guy right there.
I always say his name. Snoke.
Snoke. Is he a good guy or a bad guy?
Very bad.
It depends on which one of my sons you have.
Oh, what's your son's theory on Snoke?
Oh, what is our son's theory on Snoke? I think one of them thinks it's Ezra gone bad. And what does Josh think?
No, Jax doesn't think it's Ezra.
Oh.
Yeah,
Josh thinks it's Ezra. What does Jax think?
Jax gets very angry when he's
Yes, that's right, because he's an Ezra fan.
And how old are they?
6 and 15.
6 and 15.
The 6-year-old's the one that gets angry. He's the one that sleeps with Darth Vader.
So he's your Sith son.
He's my Sith son.
And your 15-year-old, he thinks that...
He thinks he's a Jedi, and I don't know. He thinks it's Ezra. He's got this all figured out.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's got it all figured out. He thinks it's Ezra.
Well,
I don't know.
We'll know in about 4 months.
Will we? I hope so.
I don't know. What happens if Snoke is just Snoke?
Then it's a letdown. It's a letdown.
No, it's not.
It's okay. And how about Rey's parents? What are your theories on that?
I've heard a lot of leaks. I've heard that she's Anakin reincarnated, and I've heard that she's related to Kenobi, so we don't know.
I think related.
Well, you know what? I will give you the answer if you take this to my car. Take that to my car. I will give you the answer. It may not be the right answer, but it'll be an answer. Oh, you got a King's Ransom in here, too, didn't you?
We do.
Now, were you just grabbing action figures willy-nilly, or did you know what you were grabbing?
I kind of knew what I was grabbing.
We separated and conquered. So.
That's a good plan.
Yeah. So now we just have to see if we...
I've got to take care of both of them.
Boy, these kids are going to have a great Christmas, aren't they?
They are going to have a great Christmas.
Do they know that you're here tonight?
They have great parents who sit out here.
Yes, they do.
Afternoon until midnight.
You got here at when?
3:30.
3:30.
That's how you get to the front of the line.
And you and your wife over here were the very first. Did anyone try to cut?
She came 2 hours later. No, nobody tried to cut.
Oh, good deal.
Friends at these things. That's what it's all about, right?
Oh,
friends.
definitely, yeah. So, are you happy with the toy selection that we have here?
Yes.
Were you hoping?
Exciting.
Were you hoping for anything more, or was this action figures, plush?
We're still going to be on the hunt for galactic heroes, the little squatty ones.
Right. So you were hoping to find some of those here tonight.
But we're still looking. You got it all.
So after this, will you be heading over to Target?
Yes. And then the Disney store. We are going to be shopping.
Boy, your kids do have great parents.
Thank you. Did you record that?
Yes.
Josh and Jack, you have great parents.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, we're going to be on.
Because it was going live. The whole world is seeing you right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Hello, world.
Okay, you know what? We're not recording right now, so don't worry about it.
Okay, good.
Well, congratulations on your haul. That is fantastic.
Thank you.
And so, Christmas shopping? Check.
Check.
Done.
That's right.
Done.
Yeah.
All right, bye-bye. Happy Force Friday.
Same to you.
Well, I'm glad she ended up getting a porg.
I think we pressured her.
Well, you know what? The first thing I did when I walked into that Toys R Us is I went, because I saw the row of porgs on the shelf, and they're just so dang cute.
And I was very curious as to see who was going to go for what first. And everyone dove for those action figures in the Black Series.
The Black Series.
Yeah.
Yes.
A few of them went for the porgs.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great research to see who was going to go for what piece of merchandise.
Everyone wants the Black Series. It's just, that's what it is.
Now, after we stopped rolling on this couple, we found some British guy hanging around Toys R Us. So we asked Jeffrey the Giraffe, the Toys R Us mascot, to apprehend this British guy. Who was this British guy? Well, you know, that's where we picked up our recording once again. What do we have over here?
What do we have over here?
You have James?
We have a Brit.
In Huntington Beach?
I know.
What is this Brit? Wow. Can you call Jeffrey? Call security, please.
We have a Brit.
Jeffrey?
And a Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, what's up with this? Who's letting these British guys in here? Can you do something about this? What are you going to do, Jeffrey?
Get the porgs on me. I'm porgified. Now Jeffrey's running.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Jeffrey, go get a porg. Put it in our car, would you? We'll settle it there.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone.
Jeffrey's laughing.
We can see you, Jeffrey. No hiding. No hiding, Jeffrey. We can see. He's going downstairs. Didn't know there was stairs over there.
Back up.
Well, apparently we forgot what James Burns looked like. It was late. We hadn't had our Starbucks. You know what? It happens. Sorry,
It does.
James. But you and Jeffrey became very, very good Facebook friends. So it is about, 20 minutes since we last recorded. Yes. We were on our way to Toys R Us, and now we're heading back over to downtown Disney. But let's talk about Toys R Us. So, James, what did we see there that really surprised you?
Well, I was surprised to see the new mini Funko bobbleheads things.
Right.
So that was nice to see those. I know that they've been coming for a long time. I think they had a good variety of product. There were some things that were missing. I was surprised that we didn't see Rey's speeder, because there was plenty with Luke, land speeder, with Luke, but none of Rey. And that should be in the same assortment, so I was a bit confused about that. There wasn't a lot of Black Series, which I think seemed to upset quite a few people. I think there was only 1 or 2 boxes from what we could see, because there was only 1 Finn figure, etc. Lots and lots of 3 3/4 inch figures, so people seemed very happy with that. People were buying Funko
right
like they were going out of fashion. People were literally picking up loads, and people were filling baskets with the Funko pops. So that really surprised me. I've never seen that level. Maybe it's on a different level in the US than it is in Europe. So that was really interesting to see them doing that. But I think overall people seemed to be happy with the experience, apart from the fact that there weren't really enough Black Series 6-inch to go around. But people were buying and seemed really, really happy with the experience. I think everyone got a nice poster and a great t-shirt featuring Chewbacca and the Porgs. Sounds like the name of a band, but we've already had that conversation. So yeah, I think overall the manager seemed really happy with the way everything went. You did the live recording from there, which we'll share on the JediNews page as well, as we will with this. So yeah, I think all good. What about you?
Yeah, I was surprised by that land speeder, the $500 land speeder that only kids can go in.
Well, not strictly true. If you're under 135 pounds,
right?
So plus or minus 10%. So I'm
5 more pounds for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm 160 pounds, so I'm going to try and lose another 10, and then maybe I can use that instead of my scooter at the next celebration.
Okay, what surprised me most? Now, the whole porg thing is fun, but I'm like not totally into porgs. But then I walked into Toys R Us and I saw the porgs on a shelf, and I was like, oh! I like audible gasp, because they're just so cute.
They are cute.
People seemed very, very happy. How many people would you think were there? What would you say?
I would say it was close to 120, give or take. Yeah, because there were quite a few kids.
Yeah.
And I think they had 150 posters, and I think most of the posters, there was a small stack of posters left.
Oh, really?
So they didn't all go, but I think it was a pretty good turnout.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, the area that we're in, whether that's representative of, the sort of area that we're currently in.
Yeah, we're in Huntington Beach, and I guess you'll get fans everywhere, but I think closer we are to Disneyland, we'll get them. Closer we are to Burbank or Hollywood, we'll get more fans there.
Yeah.
But see, I thought that was a very good crowd, and you said people were very happy, and I thought they were too, only they didn't have enough selection in action figures, because there were some people who were upset that only one person could get a Kylo Ren, and there were no Lukes.
No, there were no Lukes and no Reys.
Right.
So that surprised me. So yeah, very light it would seem here on the Black Series. I wonder when we get to Downtown Disney whether we're going to see the same thing. Bearing in mind it's already been open for half an hour, 40 minutes by the time we get there.
Right.
As we know from New York and from the UK and from Australia, they seem to have plentiful supply of Black Series 6-inch. So surprising that there's so few here.
Yeah, I thought the Porgs were going to be the big item, but people were looking for the Luke action figure and what were they? The Galactic Heroes?
Yes, Galactic Heroes. They've leaked online. I know Entertainment Earth have been shipping theirs for at least 2 weeks. So there's no reason to see why Toys R Us didn't have them on the shelves, but I'm sure they'll be getting them in the next couple of days, and there's more stock coming, so let's just make this abundantly clear. What's available tonight isn't it. Right. There's going to be a lot more stock coming in the lead up to The Last Jedi. There will be enough stock of every product to go around for everyone. There's nothing that's limited. There's nothing that's too exclusive at the moment. So don't panic if you can't find it tonight. That doesn't mean that you won't get it. It doesn't mean that you should jump on eBay and pay extortionate prices.
Right.
Just wait. Be patient. Be mindful of the Force, and you will get what you want.
Sarah, how many Porg toys do you think we saw tonight?
Well, there was definitely, I think there was like 8 of those kind of medium-sized porgs. We didn't see the big giant plush porgs, which I'm sad. I wanted to see that so bad. And then they had the little, the one with the wheels, the wheels, and that was more fluffy. And we saw they had those in stock, and there was quite a few guys and girls who were like hugging them. And then we, of course, had to get Jeffrey, who showed up. Jeffrey showed up, the giraffe.
The Toys R Us mascot.
Yeah, I was excited about that. He showed up, and so we got to see him, and then we made him hold a porg.
So now, while I was shooting some video, did you guys do the AR experience?
Yes, we did. We both did it, and we both came across some new characters. Obviously, we saw BB-9E, which was very interesting to see, and we saw Chewbacca, which looks amazing. The Praetorian Guard. I'm just going to load the app up. We saw the Stormtrooper Executioner. I actually got some great video with Sarah, being absolutely terrified by this new Stormtrooper, this new First Order Stormtrooper. Yeah, I mean, it was really, really interesting to see some of the new characters. What surprised me most, though, is that we saw another BB unit. So, always 2 there are, so we thought that we had BB-9E and BB-8. But no, there is another one. So the other one that we saw, let me get his or her name right, it's 2BB-2. So, and if you look at the précis as to what this character is, it says rolling about the hangar bays, as we're rolling around the roads, rolling around the hangar bays of an outpost, or hangar bays of outposts and capital ships, or snug in the astromech sockets of X-Wing fighters, BB units work tirelessly to keep the weapons and vessels of the Resistance in top combat condition. Now, you and I had this conversation before, Richard, as we walked into the car. We thought, well, there's 2 different lines of thinking in terms of BB units. Was BB-8 unique because of his markings and his deco, or was BB-8 unique because he was a BB unit?
Right.
I think we now know the answer, that BB-8 was unique because of his orange deco.
Right, yes.
So it looks like we're going to be seeing a lot more BB units in The Last Jedi.
How do you feel about that? Did you want BB-8 to be the only one of its kind, or are you excited to see more BB units rolling around?
We didn't see any more in The Force Awakens, so I was sort of kind of hoping it was a one-off, and like a special sort of prototype droid that you know, Poe was experimenting with, you know, as Poe being the lead pilot of the Resistance. But I guess not. I guess there's lots more BB units that we're going to become acquainted with over the next few months and get to see in the film.
Yeah, as a prototype droid or something, maybe they were testing BB units, and the test obviously succeeded, so now everyone wants a BB unit, apparently.
But to counter that, we know that the events of The Last Jedi carry on immediately from the events of The Force Awakens. So I'm not sure, unless unless they were in production and. Right. But you know, why didn't we see any more on the, you know, at the Resistance base during The Force Awakens? Why now are we suddenly seeing all these BB units crop up in, you know, Imperial destinations, and now lots more on the Resistance side too?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe they had something else to do. Maybe they were behind everybody else. Maybe in the special edition we'll see some more.
Maybe they were rolling around having fun.
Yeah, very, very true. Now, you said you did the AR experience. Yes. Did we meet any new characters?
Yes, the BB-8, the new BB-8.
New BB units. 2BB-2.
Oh, okay, you got a picture with that one.
No, we didn't get a picture because it was we were running around.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. Did you get any pictures with those? With the new VR experience, AR rather.
What you can do is you can take a video or a picture when you unlock them with your app. So I mostly took videos, little videos.
Okay. Well, that's what I want to see. I want to see pictures of these characters.
This video.
Okay. James is pulling up
Here we go. Here
looking at a picture of Sarah and a stormtrooper. Okay. So this new trooper, he's like a third black and white.
Is he new?
Yes, he is new. Yeah, he's a new trooper. He's a brand new trooper for The Last Jedi, he is an executioner. So you don't want to mess with him because he's likely to kill you. So a First Order executioner.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, so yeah.
That's a name.
That is a name.
The Praetorian Guard acted more like the executioner when you unlock him.
Yes.
He comes and steps out in front, and he has this big old axe thing, and he goes whap, and he whips it down.
Wait, where was I when you guys saw all this?
You were taking your live video.
Yeah.
You were talking to people.
You were talking to people when we were trying to get all the assets.
Okay, you know what? Show
what was going on.
Show me that 2BB2 unit.
Yep, let me show you that.
Yeah, that's...
We've only got a picture of that one, but we can show you that.
I thought you just went on the app and you saw the readout of that. I didn't know that you saw a picture.
So there he is.
We're looking at this.
And
it's kind of hard to see.
Tap to view the hologram. Well, the hologram doesn't really tell you much, apart from the bit that I just read out. It's a tiny, tiny picture. You can't actually... It doesn't appear like you can watch the augmented reality again, but you can see it's got a sort of flattened dome. As opposed to BB-8, which was completely rounded at the top. So, and this one is not really finished at all. So, 2BB2 was all silver and looked very much like a droid that would be doing maintenance and things like that. Wasn't finished, wasn't painted at all.
So when we go to the Disney store, I'll have to make sure to do some of this because I really want to see that.
Here's a video of BB-8 with BB-9E. Let's see if this works. This will be interesting. Just found this. Oh, here we go.
What are we looking at here?
We're looking at BB-8 talking to BB-9E. There's a bit of animation. And I don't think BB-8 is particularly enamored with BB-9E.
Oh, boy.
Fight.
BB-9E is striking out.
Yeah.
He's like one of those little yapper dogs.
They're rolling around.
Oh, they're fighting.
Oh, they're fighting. BB-8's won.
Knocked his head off. I just blocked right off.
That's very nice of BB-8. He's put his head back on.
Okay, we're good. We're good. We're recording as we're driving. And, that guy just stopped right in the middle. Oh no!
And that's that piece of animation was called a Star Wars blip. It's a brand new animation called Star Wars blip that I knew nothing about. Here we go. BB-9E emoji.
And people find these on the Star Wars.
This is
app,
in the
right?
app, yeah. So video 1. These are all different things that we're able to unlock right now, which is pretty cool. So that's the hologram for the executioner. Praetorian Guard, Scam 1, nothing on that one. Scam 5, nothing on that one. So yeah, there's all different things that we're unlocking and finding out as we're going through the app, which is really, really cool. And people need to remember that as they go in and out of stores over the next few days and they're scanning those augmented reality signs, they're going to see more and more things.
Right.
So they need to keep going back into store over the next, I think it's over the next 3 weeks, you'll be able to see different things. But if you go into store over the next couple of days, you'll be able to unlock up to 15 different characters.
Will there be any more after that?
I think 15 is the limit, and I think once you get to 15, it unlocks something special, I think.
Maybe a trailer for Han Solo?
I think we're going to have to wait until after The Last Jedi for that, personally. But yeah, a trailer would be good right about now, don't you think?
Yes.
I think sometime this month. It's September, because we're now in September, so pinch punch first of the month, no returns. And yeah, I think a trailer dropping in September would be the right time. Bit surprised we didn't get it in August, at the same time we got the Entertainment Weekly covers, because if you remember last year for Rogue, when the Entertainment Weekly covers dropped, we got the Rogue trailer.
Right. Yeah.
So we didn't get that this time. So I don't know, I think around the middle of the month we may see a trailer, I hope.
Yeah, I'm still predicting that we'll get it in October like we did with Force Awakens for football season.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, they're going to pull in that football crowd into Star Wars.
Maybe. And we've also got Rebels coming at some point as well, so maybe they'll tie it in with that.
All right, so any more to add before we cut out?
No, I think let's hit downtown Disney and see what's going on there, catch up with Tricia, and see how many porgs she's bought.
All right, with that, we got to send a huge thanks out to JediNews.co.uk for getting us into Toys R Us early to get all that awesome footage. So, James, thank you very much for coming all the way down to Huntington Beach, California.
I'm so happy that we could do it together as a team, and yeah, go team.
All right, upward and onward.
Woo!
But now let's find out what Tricia Barr and BJ Priester got, because they were waiting for us at the World of Disney store in downtown Disney. And of course, we had our mics rolling and got some really, really good feedback on their experiences and what they got. And we are now joined by Tricia Barr and BJ Priester, who is carrying a huge bag full of Star Wars toys. So is this between the two of you, or BJ, is this all yours?
It's a tag team.
Yeah, Tricia, what did you get?
Porgs.
And?
A lot of Disney pins. And that porg.
Is that the porg you're looking for?
The one from the 3-foot porg is not here.
Yeah, but getting that home on a plane would have been difficult.
And the Rey the FX lightsaber was gone. I mean, people,
Really?
yeah, already.
Wow.
That was the exclusive Ray.
It's only available at Disney stores.
Only available at Disney stores. Yes.
If you were able to get one, would you have gotten one?
Well, it's hard to get it. I mean, on the plane and stuff. So
very true.
it was trying to-
Probably 5 feet tall. So.
Really?
So what was the one toy that each of you were looking forward to the most?
I really wanted Harrison Dula.
Did you get her?
Yes. And so that was the one I wanted.
Black Series.
Yes, the Black Series and anything Porg. So there's.
You're happy.
Yes, I'm happy.
And what is your Porg count? What is your number?
Well, there's some pins. There's R2D2 with Porgs pin. So that's really cool. And then 2 Porgs.
The Noisemaker Porg and the Plush Porg.
Plush Porg. Yeah. So we're happy.
So how many Porgs is that? I lost count.
3. Well, actually, there's 2 on the pin.
Oh, so 4.
4.
Oh, 4 Porgs. How about you, BJ? What'd you get?
I got Hera and Thrawn, Rey, Luke.
These are all in the Black Series.
And I got the Elite Series Rey and the Plush Porg.
Oh, we were over at Toys R Us, and they had no Lukes whatsoever. They were Luke-less.
Or Reys.
Or Reys, right.
They may still have some here.
I think there's.
Yeah, they've got loads.
They're still bringing those out.
Oh, nice. So they're still bringing out stuff. Well, and at Toys R Us, they did not have this plush Porg, which is fuzzy. And he's much better.
Snuggle with.
Yes.
Yes.
He's much better than the one that doesn't have fuzz.
Yes.
Was there a toy here that you hadn't seen online that totally surprised you? Or a piece of merchandise?
I didn't know they'd have Thrawns here, so that was kind of surprising.
I knew that was in the line, and Hera and everyone else, so that was expected.
Like blue, dude?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And obviously they've also repacked Kylo and Luke and Rey from San Diego are in there in the mix as well. So pretty cool.
So what time did you get in line?
So you want the experience was
Yeah, give us the whole experience.
room and they started 1 through 50. They lined you up on the wall. They walked through security and lined us up. And then so we were in the second group, 51 through 100. They went through security, lined us up, and then they started dressing the windows. So I have pictures on my Instagram at Fangirl Cantina of them opening the windows.
Awesome.
And dressing the Porgs. They were setting them up. Out in the window, and there's Luke, and really awesome. He's not in the light right now, but there's a Luke out there. There's a Rey on the thing, and then there's a Porg with it looks like Poe, and then there's a Kylo window, and there is a Rey window with lightsabers, all arranged. It's very pretty. Blue. They're all blue.
All blue.
They're all blue.
At the moment.
Yes.
At the moment.
Yes.
What's going on here?
Well, there's been various talk about different color lightsabers. Blue, purple's been mentioned.
The Destiny lightsaber is purple with a blue Force dagger on the end.
Yes.
Wait a minute, is this a spoiler? Should we
No,
be?
it's been available on Target.
It's been available in Target, but it could be considered a spoiler.
I think so.
Yeah, the purple.
The purple lightsaber with the blue light dagger.
Target.
It's Target.
Yeah.
You can get it Forces of Destiny right now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's also Forces of Destiny here tonight.
We just lost Sarah. Come back, Sarah. Lost Sarah.
You have all of them. I think you have all of them.
All right. So paint us a picture. As soon as you were in the store,
The Porgs are at the door as you walk.
So was it a madhouse?
They were handing out FX lightsabers as you came in, and handing them out. Yeah,
To buy.
To buy. Yeah.
Not free.
I was gonna say we should have skipped Toys R Us.
So yeah.
And were there any giveaways? Were there any
No
freebies?
giveaways.
Nothing?
No.
Not the poster or anything?
No. You would have thought for... And they also, in the experience, had the a big First Order logo thing up with the stormtroopers, or First Order stormtroopers, but it wasn't active on the Find the Force. If it had been ready at 11 o'clock with all those people sitting
active at 11 p.m. That's what we discussed.
Everybody was sitting in the convention room, sitting around
what a
doing...
missed opportunity.
Yeah, so that was kind of... And the ARs are really cool, and there were people helping, but the way they had it arranged, it was really hard because people were walking in front of you while you were shopping. So I would have arranged it separate, so away from the shopping. But that's just kind of a lesson learned.
Now, over at Toys R Us, people came in single file, very calm and very collected. I thought it would have been a mad rush.
Everybody was screaming and excited and polite.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
No pushing or shoving?
No.
No one was knocked over to get that porg?
And the employees have been awesome and friendly.
Good.
Nice. Yeah, in fact, here I think they did a little better than Toys R Us in that they have a tunnel of cast members leading you into the store going, yay, and cheering you on.
Look, this is a big deal. This is the start of the next 11, 12 weeks, the lead up to the second film in the third trilogy of Star Wars. I mean, going back 5 years, would we have been saying this? All of us were scratching our heads thinking, oh, Clone Wars has ended, or, in animation, with Clone Wars, well, at that point, Clone Wars is going to have to end at some point. We never thought we'd be standing here right now talking about a third trilogy. We've just had Rogue One, we've got Han Solo to look forward to, far too soon, but that's a different story.
Not only that, people being just as excited.
Exactly.
Excited now as they ever were.
I would say of the fashion stuff, what I've seen online is better than what we've seen here in the store so far. So
yeah, some of the other brands that have put out
Hozu tall boots, Hozu tall boots.
They are amazing. Are on my Christmas list.
Head to Jedi News, click the link. It's an affiliate link. Help us, and we'll help you. And Pozo have been absolutely brilliant. We've been working with them, helping to push the product to get it out there. I know that Tricia and the others and everyone on the team are working really, really hard. John and Marie on Fangirls Going Rogue. No, not Fangirls Going Rogue. Sorry, Galactic Fashion. Sorry, it's late. Galactic Fashion have been pushing Pozo, and it's been doing really well.
Somebody for Fangirls Going Rogue at the Pozu event today. So
awesome.
At FGGR Pozu. Tag, and you can look at everything that happened. She took a picture with Jonathan Wilkins, our friend from Star Wars Insider.
Yep.
So there was some cool stuff. There was at the museum.
The museum of
branding, merchandising, something like that.
Yeah.
Museum of Ray.
No, it's
Museum.
It's a brand new exhibit that's going on from now till the end of December, and Pozo are exhibiting there, and they announced the high top Ray boots there tonight for the first time.
And she took a picture at the Eye of London.
Yeah, the London Eye.
Yep. With the star.
With the Star Destroyer and the TIE Fighters.
And is that in Find the Force 2, or is that just augmented reality?
That's augmented reality, as in it's in there as well. Yeah,
it's in the app.
Yeah, it's in the app. It's one of the 15, 18 locations.
The Hollywood sign.
The Hollywood sign. Yes, need to do that at some point tomorrow on the way to the airport. I'm going to try and steer and do that.
Totally opposite direction, but you know what? Leave it 10:30. You'll make it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I have a question for all of you. After tonight's Force Friday 2 madness, would you say has that helped your hype for The Last Jedi? What would you say? 24 hours ago versus now?
I've been so high on this movie with Rian Johnson, and I've been so ready for this movie. Less anxious. The Force Awakens was so anxious. This I'm just like, I'm in it. Let's do it.
BJ, is there any piece of merchandise? You're ready to fall asleep, aren't you? All right, an easy question. Did you see a piece of merchandise that made you even more excited for the movie?
No, other than the Porgs. It's great to see the Porgs in person.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wasn't sold on the Porgs, and then I just saw them now, and the first thing I did was squeal.
Just like a
I've
Porg.
heard that once or twice in the last few weeks.
I don't know where you
No, I don't know where I heard that at all. No.
Yeah, this is a family-friendly show, James, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
It was Tricia. It was all Tricia. That's all I'm saying.
All right, read the small print, okay? All right,
She's going to hit me in a minute.
So people are still shopping right over here. What as we look out over there, what are people gravitating towards?
It's everything. It's bits of everything. It's the Black Series. It's apparel. People are looking at everything.
I saw somebody buy a Monsters Inc. hat tonight.
Okay,
They waited all night long to buy a Monsters Inc. hat.
They've queued for hours to buy a Monster.
I think they've dragged their kid tonight, and you got to do whatever. Exactly.
I saw a lot of people carrying Kylo Ren toys here and Toys R Us.
There's nothing in my bag that's Kylo Ren.
Well, everybody else.
Ray and Luke.
All right. Sarah just came back with another porg. How many of those do you want?
It's the same porg, but we have this thing about getting the plush things for various...
Do you want a porg?
I do now.
If we can,
that is the porg she's looking for.
If we can keep him in the package,
He's not in a package. That's the point. He's cuddly and lovely, and I'm cuddly.
And I know it's gone bedtime, but she would like to snuggle with a porg tonight. I think you're sleeping on the sofa, Richard.
Oh, that's no different than every other night.
Okay.
All right. You can have that porg. Got to keep his tags on, though.
No. Not happening.
Fangirl flail.
All right. Anything else to add other than good night, BJ?
I'm jealous of your experience tomorrow night. Have an amazing time with John Williams. Send him my best. Enjoy it. Think of me. I'll be on an aeroplane somewhere over the pond, heading back to the UK. But have an amazing, amazing evening. And if it's anything like what we got to glimpse at Celebration, you're going to have an absolute ball. So.
If we do get a chance to speak to him, I'll say, you know what, James would love to be here, but he's over the pond right now.
Exactly. Tell him that, he should have done it the night before, We got our diaries muddled. It happens.
He just wasn't thinking, was he?
No. It's just one of those things. I mean, actually, to have done it tonight would have been awesome.
Except we were all shopping.
Yeah, but it would have been earlier in the evening, and then we could have gone from the concert straight to here.
Yeah, because there is a Disney store right in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yep.
That would have worked.
Maybe next time you should be the tour manager for John Williams.
Okay.
I'll bring that up, too.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
All right, so with that, we can all say Happy Force Friday Eve.
Happy Force Friday to Eve.
Yes.
On Twitter, you can find Jedi News at Jedi News UK, or me personally, although I don't do too much, at Planet Burns.
Burns, all right.
Tricia at Fangirls Going Rogue, so FG Going Rogue on Twitter and Instagram, and at Fangirl Cantina on Twitter and Instagram.
Besides in bed, BJ, where can we find you?
On Twitter at Red Penaflex.
All right, good
What about
deal.
you? Where can we find you?
You can find me at Toys R Us, Target, Kmart, Walmart, the World of Disney store.
And you can find me
media.
And you can find me playing with my Forces of Destiny dolls.
And you can find me on the sofa tonight.
And on social media?
Social media, we're talking about at Skywalking Pod and skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
Awesome.
All right, good night, Force Friday 2. Now, Sarah, we also got some voice messages from Skywalkers who told us about their Force Friday finds and their experiences. So let's start off here with Martin Keeler.
Hey, Richard and Sarah, it's Martin here from the UK. I went to a midnight opening of Toys R Us and managed to get a full wave of the Black Series, which made me very happy indeed. Also managed to get the Clone Commander Gree exclusive, and was given a free Last Jedi Force Friday 2 t-shirt and a poster with the new AT-ATs on. So all in all, a good night's work.
Hey Skywalkers, this is Jonathan Heil. Just wanted to take a moment and share with you what I got from my Force Friday 2 haul. I pretty much blew my entire budget on two simple things: the Lego AT-M6 Gorilla Walker and a plush Porg. So I didn't get much, but I got one really big ticket item that's going to be awesome to build. So I'm excited.
Hi there, folks. This is Alan R. Ryan, host of Australia's Fans Radio Network, your home for pop culture and fandom down under. Now, I was asked by Richard Wolosky to put into words what it is like in an Australian Force Friday. Well, I can tell you this: Australian Force Friday is just as good as elsewhere in the world. And this time, unfortunately, in Australia, Force Friday didn't fall on midnight. That's right, early Friday morning. All the stores Toys R Us all the way through to what we call Mr. Toys out here, opened up with Force Friday first thing in the morning at 9 a.m. But, of course, the lines are all out there, and the one thing I have to say is that the distribution, when it comes down to it, didn't put quite enough on the shelves. I picked up Luke Skywalker, and I picked up a number of the vehicles, and, of course, the Ski Speeder is my favourite of these. And I hope to get much, much more, but there wasn't much in the way of Black Series figures out there, whether it be 6-inch or the smaller versions. But there was a lot of Porgs out there, and, of course, there was a lot of, let's just say, great new 12-inch lines of figures, which I'm going to have to get to. This is great. I've really enjoyed going to all of the Force Fridays. But I have to say, I've enjoyed the Rogue One Force Friday out here in Australia. Even though it was just a Rogue One release, not so much a Force Friday, that was a really great event. And I think Australia's really missing out on those midnight releases. So something to think about for you Australian distributors out there. Let's get them back out there because they are really good fun events to get to. We all get something out of them. Even though we see some of the lines later on, we'd love to see more. This is Australia. May the Force be with you. And Australia's Ozfans Radio telling you it's cool to collect.
So thanks, you guys. Very, very appreciative of you sending in your clips. But then, Sarah, we got an email.
Yes, so this email is from Anthony C., and he writes, "Hey guys, after a pretty bad midnight opening at Toys R Us where they didn't get their shipment in, I went back after work that afternoon and got the new Rey, Jedi Master Luke, and Snoke Pops, a Rogue One Nerf gun, and the exclusive interactive animatronic Darth Vader. What is this figure?"
Really?
Yeah, animatronic Darth Vader. Now, I know you showed a picture of this in our Facebook group, but I believe we want some video. So if you can, Anthony, post a video of this animatronic Darth Vader working, because we want to see this. So exciting. And then, let's see, Anthony also says that he got Rey and Master Luke Black Series figures and the Luke and Leia 40th anniversary and that he found at GameStop. So yeah, GameStop is an interesting place to find some random Star Wars items as well.
Yeah, we rolled in there too. They had some unique items. But you know what? Speaking of which, we did not complete our list of what we got for Force Friday. We went into the Porg.
Yes.
And then I got...
Yes.
I got this.
Jedi Master Luke.
Jedi Master Luke.
Old Luke.
In the Black Series wave.
Yep.
Now, why did I get this action figure?
Because it was on the shelf at Downtown Disney.
No, it's Luke Skywalker. I haven't bought a Luke Skywalker action figure since, I want to say, 1985.
Aww.
So, for me, that was very nostalgic. I had to get this Luke.
You know what? And also because The Force Awakens, there was like nothing Luke.
Yeah.
Nothing Luke. So, and I mean, that was for a reason, obviously. But when I saw all those Black Series figures on the shelf too, like I thought of getting Hera because Hera's awesome. And right next to her was Thrawn. And of course, Thrawn being my tie-in. I was like, oh, those are cool. But then I saw Jedi Master Luke and I think I liked him best. So I'm glad you got this one. Yeah. Because he is very nostalgic for me too. Even though it's old Luke, it's still very nostalgic.
Do you know where I'm going to keep him? In the package. That's right.
No.
Jedi Master Luke from The Last Jedi Black Series will remain in the package where he belongs.
He wants to say hi to Han and Ahsoka.
He can say that
over
from
here.
in the package.
No, he can't. He's all alone in the package.
No. He's good. He's good. So, Sarah, what do you think? Force Friday 2, success?
Absolutely. I had lots of fun, and we still have yet to pick up our Hallmark itty bitties.
Yeah, we'll do that in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah, a great time. I'm glad we did something differently than we did last Force Friday. And we had a chance to spend it with a lot of friends who came in from out of town, like James Burns came in from out of the country, and Tricia and BJ who came in from Florida.
Absolutely.
So thank you to all of our Skywalker friends we had met along the way, and to everyone posting their finds, their videos. Much, much appreciated. Do you know what comes next?
What?
In 101 days, we get to see The Last Jedi.
Woohoo!
And we get to see how the Porgs fit into the story.
Yay! Super excited. And we hope Chewie doesn't eat a porg.
No, don't say that. He's not going to eat a porg.
All right, so that was our Force Friday Eve, but then on Force Friday, as we mentioned, we went to the Hollywood Bowl for a huge Skywalker meetup and to see John Williams in concert.
This was spectacular. This was a great Star Wars weekend.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Now, this is how many times for each of us that we had seen John Williams in concert?
I believe I've been seeing him since 99 or 2000. Pretty much, I think I've only missed like 2 years in there. So
Okay.
I've seen him every year.
All right, I lost count because I used to live right by the Hollywood Bowl, so I would just walk over there whenever he was conducting.
Nice.
So I lost count, but a lot of our Skywalkers had never ever seen John Williams in concert.
Or been to the Hollywood Bowl.
So this was a really special occasion. But before the concert, we had reserved a picnic area right outside. We had a great meetup. People came in from out of town.
Yeah, we had people coming from Chicago. We had people coming from Florida, and then my parents also from Arizona, and then all the Skywalker and Las Vegas, and then Skywalkers who live around here too. It was amazing. And Rob Dellinger.
Rob Dellinger.
So he came, of course, from the
Northern California.
Yeah.
And it was his birthday.
Mhm.
So we all gathered around to take a big skywalking through Neverland group picture, and we all sang happy birthday to Rob. Only one person, who I'm not going to name, was very out of key.
Uh-oh. Was that you?
That was me. That was very me. So, Rob, I'm sorry for that.
So after our lovely picnic, we went in to the concert on the hottest day ever for the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh.
Unfortunately, like usually it gets down to nice 70s and you almost need like a cover up or a blanket or something. But it was like in the 90s all night.
Now, in your opinion, was it Jakku hot? Was it Tatooine hot? Was it Utapau dry, muggy?
I think it was
All the above?
Utapau. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. Like it had never been that hot. So I kind of felt bad for all the Skywalkers who would come in from out of town and this is their first time because it's usually so pleasant. And we were all just like sticky going blah, blah, but still listening to the awesome music of John Williams.
Yeah. And then, of course, we did a roundtable.
Mhm.
So instead of joining in on the herd, going down to our car, which was our plan to record down by our car, we thought, you know what? Let's record right now where all the excitement and the adrenaline is still rushing through our minds and our bodies. Get the mic out, and these are the reactions.
All right, we just finished watching John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl on the hottest night ever recorded at the Hollywood Bowl. I don't know. It just seems like it. Seems like it. And we are so excited. Well, how are we feeling, everyone?
Great, feeling great. With a whole bunch of Skywalkers over here. Now, Anthony Fox.
Hi, hello, hey.
Give us your review of this John Williams concert.
Awesome, as always, the maestro working his magic, playing music, no Schindler's List.
Well, what was your favorite part of the concert? Let's start. Tricia? You have to think.
Ray's theme, without a doubt, and watching the orchestra members wave their own lightsabers after they played with them.
What about you, BJ?
Probably Ray's theme, but Imperial March unannounced was a lot of fun too.
They actually opened with the fourth Indiana Jones movie, which I was The Adventures of Mutt, which is what I was not expecting. So that was a surprise, but really the whole concert was great.
Awesome. And Dave?
You know, I'll take a different twist here. There was something that we saw this time around that we never saw before and we'll never see again, and that was Kobe Bryant representing the Lakers in Los Angeles coming out and narrating with John Williams music backing it, the poem that he gave when he announced his retirement, which that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what? Give us some background on this. Suddenly started talking about Kobe Bryant, and I'm thinking, who's Kobe Bryant? And then,
basketball.
What's a basketball?
It's a round thing. You put it in a hoop. Come on, Rich. Did you watch any sports as a
No,
kid?
obviously I didn't, Brian Sims. All right, so tell us about this. He started talking about Kobe Bryant, and then he talking about this poem he wrote. So, Dave, fill us in on this.
Well, Kobe Bryant is one of the greatest basketball players of all time and a Laker, and we're in Laker Town right here. So he retired, and but he announced his retirement in the middle of the season, surprisingly, out of nowhere. And when he announced it, he released this poem that he wrote of his tribute to basketball, and it was like a very heartfelt poem of what it meant to his life. And then we heard there's a backstory there where he had established a relationship with John Williams beforehand, and now it sounds like they're making maybe a little short film based on his poem, and John Williams' music is backing it. So what we got to see tonight was the little short film with Kobe Bryant narrating it live and John Williams' music backing it live.
And the animation was by Glenn Keane.
Glenn Keane of Family Circus fame. Oh, and then he did some things for Disney.
Yeah.
But I know him from Family Circus.
And Eliza Peralta, what was your favorite moment of this concert?
I don't know.
You don't have one? Did you like everyone swinging the lightsabers? Yeah, that was a really cool moment.
Did you like when they told us who was the voice of Chopper?
I heard that too.
Yeah.
You know what? Do you want to go ahead and repeat that?
No.
Yeah, they did. It was that guy there. What was it? What was
Person
his
who
name?
did the voice?
They did say it. What did it sound like?
Yeah, we remember that.
Yeah.
Did we get it wrong? How do you pronounce it?
No. She's not saying a thing.
You know what? Good for you, honey. Just keep telling boys no.
Quit supporting this.
All right, Denise Power. Denise, who was on the show back in February 2014, reviewing The Little Mermaid. Yeah, just a wee one little podcast. So now that you're back here on Skywalking Through Neverland, tell us what your highlight of the John Williams concert was.
Besides how handsome John is and even his olderness, you know what? It was weird, but the music from Dracula, it took me all the way back to when I was in college and how much I was getting to be such a fan of his, and I was buying every LP when it came out, and you could hear it. Like, you could go into a theater without even seeing his name on, when the strings and stuff would come in the film, you knew, okay, there's John Williams' score. And I used to play that over and over. I just thought it was the most beautiful music. When they finally started playing the Star Wars music and everybody lit up their little lightsabers all over the place, and there was like all the little Sith sections where it was mostly red, and then everyone's waving them around to the music, and it was like that. It was like a little garden of light and happiness.
Yeah.
No, okay. 79,
that John
1979
Williams
Dracula. It was composed by John Williams.
Okay.
But it did have a very 1930s feel to it.
Right, but you know what? I heard a lot of future stuff in there. For being 1979, I heard a little bit of Empire, a little bit of Raiders, a little bit of E.T. in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of E.T. in there as well.
Yeah.
Right. So how about the Muckos? Any comments? What are you doing way up there? Come on down here. All right, Scott, Jessica, highlights of the John Williams concert.
I'm going to be really weird here and say, because I was expecting Star Wars, so you come expecting Star Wars, but Superman did it for me.
Yes.
That's just memories from childhood right there. It was one of the first LPs I bought and played over and over. I don't know, Superman made me just, all those good childhood memories and stuff came back.
Yeah, that's a very important thing to feel all of those. Like Rob Dellinger, who was just here, was saying that it was like a night like this where it's very hot and humid, and seeing all these big summer blockbusters. So like having him play Superman and Star Wars and E.T. and Close Encounters came out in November. But playing all those really put you back into the 70s and 80s.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything for you, Jessica?
Of course it has to be E.T. because that's the year I was born.
Are you kidding me? Are you
the youngin' of the bunch here.
Very nice.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I think for now we're being wrapped up, so we have to wrap it up for now. Rick, did you have one really quick thing? Your favorite part of this night's concert?
Well, you know, honestly, the thing I was calling for, the thing I was hoping for, was Close Encounters with the anniversary. Leading with that was the highlight for me. Nice. Yeah.
And you know,
ask me about my highlight.
What was your highlight of the night, Richard?
I would have to say Close Encounters. We did not see that coming, and I've never seen Close Encounters in concert. I've seen the movie. Are you kidding? If you're a boy in the 70s, you saw Close Encounters, but in concert. And it was one of those really weird themes because it was just a whole bunch of sounds until finally you heard the dun 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 dun. Then there'd be more sounds, and then right back into that. What do you call that? Not a phrase.
A lot of builds.
Oh, the 5-note phrase.
The 5-note phrase. Oh, it is a phrase. Okay. All right. I can't speak music, so.
Like this.
Perfect. Yeah. There you go. Everyone's making the hand gesture. Bum, 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 bum.
Close enough.
We're just making it up.
Picture the thing with the lights on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Up, flat, fist, fan.
Well, close.
I'm older than you.
Yeah. Well, anyone who saw Close Encounters and listening to this knows exactly what we're doing with the hand gestures.
Now those are gang signs.
And of course, Close Encounters is out right now for its 40th anniversary for a week. So if you guys haven't, I don't know when this will be coming out, but if you guys haven't seen it this week, get out there and see it.
One of the rare films of the 70s that holds up.
Right.
When I was a young thing working in the theater, when it came out, I worked at Sciufi. They had the big Cinedome screens, and when that mothership came up into the screen, the audience was curved like this. Everybody was, and we had, the sound was shaking the seats and everything. It was awesome. I never got tired of it.
So the first encore was Imperial March. Second encore was Superman. Third encore was E.T. There was a fifth encore.
Well, he played Sabrina somewhere in there.
Right. That was
Sabrina.
like third.
From 1954.
No, actually, the Sabrina from '97 or something like that.
Hepburn, he said, I thought.
No, he said he had.
Sabrina, they played Serena or something. It was weird.
Yeah, it was. He thought of Audrey Hepburn when he was composing the theme to Sabrina from '96. I think.
Is that the one with Harrison Ford, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Now, did this feel like John Williams' last concert? You know what? In Force Awakens, in Force Awakens, you can tell that was Harrison Ford's last Star Wars movie because he was so happy. Yes. This time here, he was composing everything and he was feeling it. He was like reflecting on these themes. So to me, and I've never seen him as lively as this. So it was like he knows mentally this is going to be his last concert because after The Last Jedi, he may just say, okay, I'll score episode 9, but after that, it's Retirement City.
But he said
I'm not going to think about that.
He announced he was working on Indiana Jones 5, which comes out in 2020. So,
but he may feel like he's doing for Last Jedi and composing that
But
pre-film.
But he said that you'll have to come here next year to hear Last Jedi. So,
But
because
he
we're not
didn't-
allowed
He didn't say from me.
I heard him say, hey, Rich, I'm going to be here next year. Why don't you bring the gang over so I can
How
play
many
for you
times did you
guys?
say to someone, hey, I'll see you guys later. Hey, I'll call you. And you never do.
Just feeding on the vibe that the country needs right now. That's what I think. He played music that we needed to hear.
Oh, yeah. But looking at him, looking at his facial gestures and how he was moving.
And he loves
We've
it.
seen him every single year, and I've never seen him as lively as this.
I think he's just.
I'm hoping it's not his last concert, of course, but it was like seeing Harrison Ford in those press conferences, like, oh boy, okay, he's happy for a reason.
Well, when Kobe stabbed him in the gut with the lightsaber, I did not see that coming. So,
So then it will be his last concert.
It was a red saber.
Very much so. All right, to wrap it up, what do we want? Let's say, hoping he does come back next year, which, prove me wrong, Johnny, prove me wrong. What do we want to see him do? If he consulted with all of us, said, what one theme do you want to hear?
Something from The Last Jedi?
All right, already composed.
Indiana Jones. It was
yeah, the main Indiana Jones theme.
Indiana Jones.
And Jurassic Park would be a nice one to hear.
All right. I want to hear Lopty Neck. Lopty Neck. The Java band from the original release.
I got one from left field.
With lyrics
I wanna hear
written
Hook.
by his son.
I want to hear Hook too. Yay. I want to hear, honestly, and I have heard it before. He has played it, the love theme from Superman. And that's when I had to shush someone behind me. I was like, you shut up.
No, you shushed him for Ray's theme.
Okay. Oh, is that what I did? Well, the
Yeah.
year before, whenever
Yeah.
they played, I had to
And
shush.
I'd love to hear the Ewok celebration too.
Original.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or a cantina.
I've seen him do the Cantina theme, but I've never seen him do a Lopty Neck, and I've never seen him do the Ewok celebration.
And next year, I'd like to have Nico open this. I think that'd be really cool.
Right. BJ, Justin, Rebecca, anyone else? What themes do we want to hear?
Jaws.
Oh,
Yes, there we go. Good one.
Right. Justin Smith says Jaws. Oh, we're going to go.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank
Wrapping
you,
it up.
everyone.
Hey, you know what? Before we give this to you, what theme do you want to hear him do next year?
Next year?
Yeah.
John Williams. I prefer Jaws or more like Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Nice.
All right.
Awesome.
Cushion Man said Jurassic Park.
I know what's gonna happen in the next episode for Star Wars.
Oh, Last Jedi.
Yes.
You know what? We'll get you a download if you can get us backstage.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
All right, bye-bye.
Peace out.
Always remember.
Never land on Alderaan.
So now, what did you think of this Force Friday weekend?
This was the most amazing Force Friday weekend I could have imagined. It was fantastic. We went out shopping with James Burns and Tricia Barr and BJ Priester. We got a chance to see a John Williams concert. And then to round out the trifecta of awesomeness, we got a chance to see a lot of long-distance Skywalkers. So just amazing. Now, how will Force Friday 3 top this?
Oh, my goodness. That's hard to say, but if it is on this like Labor Day weekend, well, now will episode 9 is slated for May, isn't it? We don't know.
I don't know anymore.
We don't know because there's been some changes. So,
But there might still be a Force Friday. It could be any
Right.
part of the year.
right, that's the thing. But if it is the same time in the year, then there will be another John Williams concert. So I don't know what we could do to top this beyond having a celebration
Mic drop.
and a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge meetup.
2 mic drops. Keep going.
How's that for
I got
you?
a lot of mics here to drop.
And some awesome merchandise with another cute character that everyone's in love with.
Such as a HUGE.
Oh, yeah. See? There
You know
you
what?
go.
I'm just going to drop all my mics right now.
The only problem with it was the fact that it was so hot in LA over this crazy weekend. So that was the only problem. But other than that,
Yeah, but I would say for the most part, we were having such a great time that it was kind of background noise
yeah.
and just not background sweat, whatever that means.
So thank you everyone for joining us who joined us.
So the next thing we have to look forward to, Sarah, is the podcasting cruise.
Oh, yes. Yes, in like a week and a half now. Crazy.
So I love this new era of fandom because once something ends, unlike the vintage days, you had to wait another year or 3 years. Now it's like, oh, next week we're going to be doing this.
Yep.
Just like Kenner said in 1985, Star Wars is forever. And so are the adventures.
This is the ForceCast. Join us each week for the latest Star Wars news, rumors, and more.
A long time ago, there was a podcast that started it all called the ForceCast. Over the years, the ForceCast has been restructured many times until one day it just ceased to exist. But like the phoenix rising from the ashes, the ForceCast has been reborn.
This time around, the show has new hosts in Daniel Barry and Ryan Donoho, formerly of Podcast 66.
Hey, Ryan and Dan Barry.
Hey, Skywalkers.
Hey, thanks for coming on and sharing the new show and the format, and we want to hear all about it. However, we have something else to talk about beforehand, and that is the big story of the week. And now, being podcasters such as yourself, I'm sure you're all over this. Now, Lucasfilm and Colin Trevorrow, they have mutually agreed to part ways, and Colin Trevorrow will not be directing Star Wars Episode 9. Thoughts? Go ahead, Dan.
Well, is it really mutual? I mean, even if you think it's the best thing to do, are you really voluntarily going to walk away from a Star Wars movie? I don't think so.
All right,
Ryan, you've got some big ideas for this. What's going on here?
Yeah, at first you think, okay, this is like the third time in a row now that we've lost directors or, mutually parted ways.
Right.
And you would think like, okay, is this a problem? But I don't see it as a problem. I see it as a solution, right? Because Kathleen Kennedy obviously has a vision for the franchise and for each movie. And if you're not willing to play ball her way, then you can mutually look out the door and walk out the door. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, this is the third time, but fourth director.
Okay.
Because Lord and Miller count as
Oh, right,
two
right.
there.
Gotcha.
With Josh Trank from the Boba Fett movie and Lord Miller from Han Solo and Gareth Edwards. I'm not sure he hung in there till the very end.
He did because he was willing to be like, okay, this guy will direct these remaining segments and I won't say a thing.
Yeah, Mr. Gilroy, step right in here. I'll take a back seat.
Right.
However,
And look how good that worked out. I mean, that was
know.
perfect.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been happier with Lord Miller's departure and when Colin Trevorrow, I'm not even going to learn to pronounce his name, now that he's out, I couldn't be happier. Just because after seeing Jurassic World, after seeing the Book of Henry, I thought, there's no way this guy can direct a Star Wars film. Now,
shots fired.
Yeah, that's right, Trevorrow. Balls in your court. But Sarah, when you heard this, because we haven't really had a chance to talk about it,
right?
What did you think?
I mean, I was overall glad. I know on Fangirls Going Rogue, we've kind of talked about Colin Trevorrow a lot and how he doesn't have a good track record in finishing out series such as Jurassic World and like where the characters go. So, you know, I know that we were all concerned over there what would happen to Rey and some of the stories of the women in Star Wars.
Well, he would put high heels on Rey and then have Rey be chased by big dinosaurs.
Exactly. So yes, so I was happy about this. I mean, I think his announcement as director was a little reactionary in terms of Jurassic World had just made $2 billion or something ridiculous, and this was before The Force Awakens, and so I think, you know, Lucasfilm and Disney were just like, oh, let's grab him, you know, without really thinking it through. I mean, I know that's
plus,
for me to say, but
Kathleen Kennedy had worked with him on Jurassic World.
Oh, okay.
So he did have a track record.
Okay, I didn't know that, but that's good to know.
After the Book of Henry came out and it was just getting slammed right, left, and center, Lucasfilm said, no, guys, because the fans went crazy. No, we're going to keep him. We're going to keep him. But did you guys think that was not the case and that his walking papers were soon to be had?
Well, my sources tell me that it was his insistence on putting Jimmy Buffett in a cameo role that lost him the job for Star Wars.
Oh, why do you say this?
Jurassic
Well,
World?
I mean, you know, he had two drinks and one drink in each hand in Jurassic World, but
that's right.
It's going to have some lines in episode 9, and that just was not happening.
No, but episode 9, he was going to transfer over to Van Halen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ryan's been thinking about this a lot.
That's so funny.
Okay, Ryan, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm surprised only because what Richard said. Frank Marshall, who's married to Kathleen Kennedy, Steven Spielberg, who was executive producer on Jurassic World, and then Kathleen Kennedy, they worked with Trevorrow, whatever his last name is. They worked with him, so I thought it made sense to hire him because at least they could most likely tell him this is what you have to do and you follow our rules. And then after the Book of Henry, I thought, well, they'll probably say, hey, you're going to have sort of a lesser role and maybe you won't write the script and maybe you'll just kind of come in and do what you did with Jurassic World, tell our story, and you know, we work with you, you'll listen to us. So I was actually floored by it because I thought, hey, they're friends, they work together. This isn't like a Lord and Miller situation where they didn't like the way that they folded their socks. So, you know, in this case, I thought, you know what, maybe they'll work it out because they've worked with him once before. He'll listen to him again, but it doesn't seem that way.
No.
Sarah, some of the points you brought up, we'd heard recently from some other female guests on our show, and it's a perspective that I had not really spent a lot of time thinking about. And the more I hear discussion of it, the more my mind is opened. And, you know, you're absolutely right. This current trilogy weighs so heavily on Rey's story and Leia's story, and you really need someone who understands the female voice. And I'm with you. I don't think Trevorrow really nailed it in anything I've seen of his.
Yeah. Well, and according to what we've read, it sounds like he had some involvement in the development process.
Do you recall a few months ago, his development process was that he wanted to shoot part of episode 9 in actual outer space.
Oh yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I got a little excited, but then we never heard anything else about it, and that was it. And my interest level waned way back down again.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
So if you guys were to, if Lucasfilm and Disney said, Dan, Ryan, we need your thoughts on a new director. Who could you see stepping in?
I really am all behind Rian Johnson, even though we haven't seen The Last Jedi yet. Feel like he's got a really good thing going on at Lucasfilm, and the fans seem to really love him. But honestly, and this is sort of the easy answer. Although I would love to see a female director do a Star Wars immediately. This is still kind of an easy answer, and it's only because I just loved Wonder Woman so much, and it blew me away. I think you get Patty Jenkins, and I think that would be a cool choice. Ryan had a few things that we were talking about. He blew my mind with some of his ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think Rian Johnson's the obvious choice because he did 8, so just let him finish it out with 9. But I think I have either A, let Dave Filoni see what he can do with live action, or B, give it to a female director, because what Patty Jenkins did with Wonder Woman, to me that showed a woman's perspective on a woman protagonist, I think is the best option you have out there. So I'm not super familiar with the field of women directors, but I thought maybe somebody like Sofia Coppola, somebody who hasn't done a ton of stuff yet, but is willing to work with Kathleen Kennedy and have that collaborative effort that she's clearly looking for. So that would be my 3 choices.
She hasn't done a ton of, or any like action adventure, but she's done a lot of other kind of films. That's why I thought that was an interesting idea. I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah. You know what? Those are both interesting choices. And honestly, Ryan, this is the first time I've heard the Dave Filoni idea, and that makes a lot of sense to me because he's been involved behind the scenes in all of the live action movies, even though he's not necessarily in the credits. I think he's had a larger role than the credits have said. And I think he's stepped back as executive producer, and he's got that female perspective on lockdown. I mean, his wife has a heavy influence on that. So even if there's not a woman director in the role, I think Dave Filoni to me would be absolutely just as good. So my vote would be for Dave Filoni. Now, woohoo!
My vote would be for Jon Favreau. Now, to me, he has not had a stinker. So and he's been in the Star Wars world, playing the voice, being the voice of Pre Vizsla in the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Either Jon Favreau or let Rian Johnson step in.
Right.
I would, since he's been so ingrained in Star Wars his whole life.
Oh, I'm right behind you there on Rich on Favs, because he's my boy. I've been a diehard fan of Jon Favreau since Swingers, and that's been a while. It's been a while.
But also, Rian Johnson, I think, is a heavy contender, although he would get no break because they're talking about starting shooting Episode 9 in January of 2018.
Yep. Right.
So poor guy would be like going to the premiere and then be
on a plane with a camera crew.
Exactly.
Planning out shots.
Exactly. So, but he does, according to everyone we've heard from behind the scenes, Rian Johnson has his together.
He tweeted out something the other day too, didn't he, Ryan?
Are you talking about him saying he would do another movie in a heartbeat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he said that before Colin Trevorrow got fired, so maybe that was just him talking.
Oh,
but then again, he may have known this a month ago.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
I don't think anyone was ever happy with Colin Trevorrow.
And I'm just happy that you'll be able to say, hopefully, the director.
See, I can say Johnson,
9.
I can say Favreau, I can say Filoni, I can say all those names. So it's in the writing. It's right there.
Colin Trevorrow.
Oh. Like, no, you gotta say it like Colin Trevorrow.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, like Astro.
Ruh-roh. Colin.
Oh boy.
All right, so we could go on and on about this and how Disney and Lucasfilm should not put the cart before the horse ever again and make sure these people do have their act together before hiring these young directors they think they can just direct over their shoulders.
Right.
We're done with that. All right, 4th time's the, I guess, omen.
Yes.
All right, with that, let's now talk about the ForceCast.
So yeah, first of all, you guys now are the hosts of the ForceCast. Now, how will the ForceCast be different from Podcast 66?
Well, I think for us, for Podcast 66, it was more of a sort of a niche style podcast where it was very much Star Wars hardcore fan community podcast, where if you were paying attention to what was saying on Twitter in the Star Wars fan community and on Facebook and all of that kind of stuff, we really went super deep into whatever was happening in fandom that day or that week. And with the ForceCast, I think with the more general audience and the broader audience, we want to try to bring a Star Wars podcast to people that haven't really listened to a ton of Star Wars podcasts or may not know that Star Wars fandom is tweeting a certain hashtag that day. And maybe we take a broader look at Star Wars and then still have the moments where we dive deep, but maybe look to have a little more fun. And if you're just a Star Wars fan who's seen the movies once, you can still have a good time listening to our show. I think, Daniel, that's what we are trying to bring with the ForceCast is, hey, this is for all Star Wars fans and not just maybe the ones that are super, super hardcore.
Yeah, and lots of me singing songs.
Aw. Now, will this be a weekly show?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, good. Now, there's, like, Ryan, you were just saying there's a billion Star Wars podcasts out there. What will make the ForceCast be at the top of the list? How will you stand out?
Oh, well, like Ryan was saying, we're really dedicated to bringing the highest level production and the most streamlined way that the general casual fan can just get their news. And we want to book guests that everyone's going to be interested in hearing about. And I got to tip my hat. Over the last 6+ years, actually, it's been 4 years for you guys, has it not? 4+ years?
4 years
Correct.
coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yes. So over the last 5 years or so, you guys have really been trailblazers. And I when I actually sit down and work on a podcast, the hours I spent editing and putting music in and stuff, I always think of you and Sarah, Rich. And every week, Skywalking Through Neverland continues to raise the bar, and it never dips in quality. It never has. It just continues to exceed. So there's not a lot of podcasts out there that do that. And I'm not just talking Star Wars podcasts. Podcasts in general is just sort of like the Wild Wild West, and anybody with a microphone in a basement can do it, and that's great. But, we want to really hold on to the listeners we have and build upon that. And I think the way that we could do that is by respecting our audience and really putting in the work every week. And so, we're just kind of clearing the dust off the ground right now. We're kind of getting comfortable in this new car, I guess. But we got a lot of things that we had established with our old podcast we want to try to bring over and improve upon. So I made a joke about less singing, but maybe there will be more singing, maybe better singing. But yeah, we're going to do a lot of fun stuff in the near future, and you're going to see a broader presence on social media from us. And we're just thrilled to have the support of our fellow podcasters like you two.
Awesome.
See, Sarah, that's why we have them on the show.
Exactly.
Now, I just heard your premiere episode, and I got to say, it was a great, fantastic show. Very, very jam-packed with content, which I love. There wasn't any fluff, wasn't any just talking in circles. You guys really had your act together. Ryan, your interview with Claudia Gray was great. The discussion you had with John and Maria Macias about the Freemaker adventures was fantastic.
Yay.
So we could really tell you guys did your homework before talking to anyone, and that's something I've got to commend you on, because I love, and I will stick with the show that respects its audience and will do the research and will present it in a way that we haven't heard yet. And you guys really have a very fun, playful way to talk with people, so it's not an interview, it's a discussion.
Yeah, we've been lucky in that. Well, first off, Richard, wow, thank you. I'm floored, and it means so much coming from you two. That praise, it really means a lot. But yeah, we've been lucky in the past with really great guests, yourselves included, on our old show, and we don't turn down people who want to come on the show, but we try to get a mix of people that might recognize as far as celebrities or actors and such, and we like to bring on other fans as well that might have an interesting perspective. And we just try to keep it moving, try to keep it interesting. I think we're a little bit more fine-tuned into, like you said, Ryan, maybe less fluff and a little bit more cutting of the fat than we would have been before, because we're reaching such a broader audience that we want to make sure that people aren't tuning out after 10, 15, 20 minutes, and they might actually stay tuned for the whole hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever. I think Ryan would agree with me there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I know you guys had us on just to compliment you for a couple of minutes, and we're going to keep that up. But when I listen to your guys' show, you bring on a guest that either I hadn't heard from or I didn't know they were doing a certain thing. And then when I listen to it, I'm enlightened and I'm interested in whatever that person is talking about. And so our guests are sort of that way to where, you know, if you weren't planning on reading the Leia Princess of Alderaan novel, well, let's talk to the author and see what she has to say about it. And then maybe you will look at it differently before you pick it up. Or, you know, if you were trying to choose what to read, now you have that. And then when we had Jonah Marie on, there's a show out there for Star Wars fans to watch, and not a lot of us are watching it. So who can we have on that's going to bring a new perspective? And so a lot of times I listen to your guys' guest, whether it be like an Imagineer or David Collins with music and something like that. And then I learn, and then I'm more interested in whatever the topic is. And so I think we're trying to model that show to where we're trying to get you interested in things maybe you weren't paying attention to, or if you are interested, it kind of deepens your interest in whatever it is.
Oh, very much so. I'm not the biggest reader just because I don't have much time. But after hearing your talk with Claudia Gray in the Leia novel, I thought, this is one I could pick up now because you went into it in depth without any spoilers.
And you have that behind the scenes like knowledge. It's more fun to pick up a book like that.
Yeah. So I can say I'll be cracking that binder sometime tonight. Now,
nice.
Boom.
And I got to ask you, you had opened your first show with the statement that you didn't want to make a big splashy announcement about your premiere. Can you go into a little bit of that?
Yeah, you know, the ForceCast was the first Star Wars podcast. And like you said, Richard, there's like 4 million now. I mean, you wake up every day and there's 3 more shows. And so, you know, when the ForceCast was in its heyday with Jason and Jimmy Mack, they really sort of ruled the kingdom of Star Wars podcast for, you know, a pretty big window to where any guest or anything that was happening, it was happening there. And the community has grown so much now that if we would have come back and said, you know what, the ForceCast is back, all of you now have to step back because the big show is here, I think that's not a way to be a good member of any community or even a positive fan that's putting out positive energy into whatever fandom you're in. And so when we were just talking behind the scenes, I mean, this has been in the works since April. So, I mean, we've been talking behind the scenes since Celebration. And we just decided that because of all the new shows and the community's expansion and sort of Star Wars growing every day, the best thing for the ForceCast is to, yes, be back and be prominent and be weekly and put out the best stuff we know how, but to really fit in and just celebrate Star Wars rather than taking some sort of throne back or taking some sort of mantle back, because we just want to have fun and talk Star Wars and be interesting and talk to listeners and fans and community members. And that's what we're here for. So I think had we have come back with some big press release and a press conference and a confetti and all that other stuff, that doesn't send the right message to us. So yeah, did we deceive some people with not saying anything for a long time? Maybe, but I think we love shows like yours and other shows that are out there, and we want to be part of it rather than try to be some sort of leader.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of buzz on several Star Wars podcast Facebook groups too. Like, hey, did you guys see the ForceCast is back? And people will tune back in.
Yeah. So, you know, with that being said, speaking of tuning in, what can we hear in the near future? Do you have anything you'd like to share? Some exclusives. What's coming up?
Well, I think it's I could tell you. I'm not sure when this particular episode of yours is going up, but I imagine it's around the same time
tomorrow.
We are going to be talking some Dragon Con with our good friend Charlotte Arity of Sky Talkers: This Galactic Life. She's just a delight, and that show is really taken off, and we're really proud to know her. And yeah, we had a really good conversation with her this week, and we're going to be talking a lot of Colin and Ryan on our show as well. I'm working on a couple skits that I want to unveil in the future, some short songs and fun things like that. We do have some more guests booked up, some bigger names. I can't really tell you right now.
You know what?
But
Daniel, do you guys want to know the first celebrity guest we're going to have on? Well, Claudia, but the first actor that we're going to have on the show. Do you guys want to hear it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Well, because we love you guys so much, it's likely to be probably a week or so after this is released, but we're going to be chatting with Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels. We're going to be talking to him about the 4th and final season of Rebels and what exactly that means for his character and his time as a Star Wars actor. So that's coming up soon.
Nice.
That should be a fun discussion, although everything he says is going to be, I can't say it.
Yeah,
I can't say it.
right.
Hang on to your hats. I can't say that. I can't say this. Dave Filoni's looking at me right now. I can't say anything.
Well, I was going to say before Ryan dropped that bomb was if you go back and peruse past podcast 66 episodes, you'll see a trend of particular celebrity guests we've had on the show, and we have good relationships with. So you could pretty much bet your bottom dollar a lot of those cats and kittens will be back with us on the ForceCast in the near future.
Wow.
I want to be a kitten.
I want to be
You are.
I want to be a HUGE. Now, for when you were doing podcast 66, what was the one guest that has been your white whale you hope to get for the ForceCast?
Oof. You mean one we haven't gotten yet?
The one you hadn't gotten yet, and that just keeps on eluding you, or just keeps on saying no. The one that you really want to get.
Oh, definitely Filoni. Ryan?
I'd actually say Hayden Christensen. I've been trying. I've been poking and prodding, and so far the fish line has come back empty. But that would be my dream guest to talk to for an extended period of time, where we could really get his thoughts on all of his experiences in Star Wars.
Well, not for nothing, but my dream guest would actually be Kevin Smith. But I feel like we've gotten real close to booking Dave Filoni. Just hasn't been in the cards. It hadn't lined up, but maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Awesome.
Maybe after The Last Jedi comes out, you can get Hayden Christensen and ask him all about his contribution in the movie.
I hope so.
Speculation.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Wow.
I hope one of us can get Hayden Christensen, because he's been on my list since day one.
Yeah.
Now, where can we find the ForceCast? On any kind of podcatchers or iTunes or social media?
Well, the best way to do so, if you want to find out where you could subscribe to us online, any of your podcatchers, you go to our website, forcecast.net and /subscribe. And from there, the network and everything that we got, all the links are there for you to find iTunes and Google Play and Stitcher and all those great podcast platforms. And then on social media, we're on Twitter at ForceCastNet. Whoever owns ForceCast, by the way, I will give you a cookie if we can have that name back. So throwing that out.
What about Instagram? I know I saw you guys there.
Yeah, at ForceCastNet.
Okay.
Which I think is kind of funny because you cast a net.
Oh, hey. There you go.
A net of listeners.
But if you guys like the Instagram content, there's been very little so far, but we're going to have more and more. And I have the best person to run social media for our Instagram account, my wife, Lindsay, who's amazing at that. So
that's very true. Well, I did like on Instagram, you had like your host, like your picture, and then you you swipe to the next image and it was all about you. So I liked that.
Yeah, it's like a trading card.
Yeah. There you go.
I tell Lindsay, good job, and she can stay on.
She's hired.
Yes.
And we are on Facebook at facebook.com/ForceCast. So
great.
Awesome.
Yeah, you don't have to add the net at Facebook. It's just ForceCast.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, before we wrap things up, do you want to tell people what they can expect to hear on next week's show?
Well, like Daniel said earlier, we have a discussion with Charlotte Arity about Dragon Con. We are trying to make Dragon Con in Atlanta 2018 Star Wars Celebration Light for 2018, since there's no celebration. So we're starting the campaign now for a year-long campaign to get everybody to Dragon Con, if you can, in Atlanta. And then, of course, we're talking all about Colin Trevorrow's exit from Episode 9, and what does that mean for Lucasfilm and for the movie, and who do we want to see next? So that's what we got coming out on this show.
All right.
Also fans of Thin Lizzy had better tune in.
Is that a baseball player?
No, Thin Lizzy. Come on,
Oh,
Rich.
Finn. You know what? I thought you said Finn Lizzy.
No. Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy. Okay, I know that name. Okay.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
High five, Rich. Old people.
What are you talking about? Dan, you were born in my year.
Yeah, but you're a musician. You should know Thin Lizzy.
I know classical music.
Yeah, they're classic rock.
I was on the episode and I don't know who that is. So
it'll be a surprise for you too, Ryan.
All right. Now you guys take us out by giving us your signature ForceCast outro.
Well, mine is for Jeddah.
Mine's usually we'll catch up next week. Never land on Tatooine. Is that right? That doesn't sound right.
Now wait a minute.
Never lean on Tatooine.
There you go.
Don't know what that means, but you know what? It sounds good.
Oh, there you go.
Good call. And we're both so thrilled and honored to be a guest on your show anytime. Like I said, you guys are easily one of our favorite shows and absolutely a forerunner in the podcast game. And you guys are just two of the best humans I know, and you deserve all the praise. And thank you for your support. And thanks for all your listeners for supporting us as well. And yes, we love you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Well, that wraps up episode 183 of
Skywalking Through Neverland.
We would like to thank James Burns, Tricia Barr, BJ Priester, Daniel and Ryan from the ForceCast, all of you Skywalkers who attended our meetup, who are in our round tables, and all of you Skywalkers who listen every single week. And now a reminder, if you are listening to this or watching this on YouTube, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are youtube.com/skywalkingthrough-neverland.
Now, as always, we are part of the Retro Zap family, where you can find articles and other awesome podcasts like Brews and Blasters,
the Sandcrawler Podcast, Beltway Banthas,
the Deucecast Movie Show,
Starship Sabers and Scoundrels, Kanata's Castle, Techno Retro Dads, and also
Talking Apes TV, where this Friday we're going to record an interview with one of the Ape cast members that I've been looking to talk to for a long time.
All right, you can also find Skywalking Through Neverland at JediNews.co.uk. Some of the pictures we took, James Burns is using as well. So make sure you head there for a comprehensive Star Wars coverage. Now, Skywalkers, if you want to join us on social media and have that conversation continue, we are at Skywalking Pod for Twitter, Instagram, and we also have our lovely Facebook group where you can get to know other Skywalkers, and you can go to Facebook and search for Skywalking Through Neverland group, and then request to join, answer the 2 questions that pop up, and we will let you in. You can also email us. We are share@skywalkingthrough-neverland.com.
Now, stay tuned for bits of conversations and outtakes that didn't make it into the show, but thought it was worthy enough for you to hear.
And with that, make sure to hug your porgs and
always remember,
Neverland on Alderaan.
Some imagination, huh?
To our Skywalkers and Tweetwalkers, thanks for listening. Skywalking Through Neverland is created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Original music by Rob Dellinger. Creative consultant Mark Augushowitz. Technical advisor Peter Heitman. Facebook administrators Donald Wicks, Joey Pittman, and Norma Heitman.
Skywalking Through Neverland is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, and clips played during this podcast are the property of their copyright holders. All original content is property of Skywalking Through Neverland, all rights reserved. Sorry, had to be said.
Star Wars Rebels for charity or
Star Wars
or
Rebels
live?
Star Wars Rebels. Everything I can think of is too long. Star Wars Rebels at a theater near you. Star Wars Rebels on the big screen, on the silver screen. All right, Skywalkers, we need your help on this one.
On screen? No.
All right.
Yeah, that's hard. Not Thrawn. What's his
Rook?
name? No. Sorry. Guy who was redone in Rogue One. So his
Saw.
face.
Saw.
No, digitally remastered.
Tarkin.
Tarkin, thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm sad.
Hashtag sorry, Kanan.
Oh.
Kanan, see ya.
Oh. That's mean.
It is.
Bye, Kanan.
Oh, that's terrible. That's so definitive. Skywalkers, I'm sorry you had to hear this. So, you know what? Let's go out while the going is somewhat good. Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, and when we first got there, we talked to a couple, and the woman had no idea what a porg was.
Yeah, that was a bit bizarre. She was the first person in the queue. In
Yeah.
the line,
Yeah.
sorry.
We're in Los Angeles. Okay?
Yeah, okay, fine. We can say that. And she had absolutely no idea what porgs were, so we had to explain that, which seemed a bit bizarre. And the one thing that she was looking forward to was the Galactic Heroes, and unfortunately that branch didn't have them in stock. So I felt really, really sorry for her. But she was buying all the figures. She was saying that she does all of her Christmas shopping in August, September.
Yeah.
So she was getting ahead of the game.
Right. Oh, so do you think maybe, do you want to predict the Rebels Season 4 premiere tying in with the Last Jedi trailer?
I know when the Season 4 premiere of Rebels is, so I'm keeping quiet.
If we weren't recording, what would you say?
I'm keeping quiet because we are recording.
Hold on, I'll press blip. I just pressed stop.
I didn't see your finger move.
You moving right over here? Oh, James is smarter than I am, obviously. All right, so you don't have to say anything. Yeah. All right, everyone. Let's get a last shot on the porgs. All right, Jeffrey, we're all good. We're all good. He's saying he's been subdued. He's been sedated. Oh yeah. Before we sign off here, Jeffrey.
All right.
Can you cuddle with a porg?
Oh my god.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's a press photo.
Uh-oh.
That is a press photo. All right, Jeff.
There.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. All right, Jeffrey, can you wave goodbye to everybody?
Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Okay, I want to be in it too.
Well, I'm waiting for Richard's homemade creation of an audio drop that spoofs the Muppets. Porgs in space. So I'm waiting for that. But I
always remember.